Yeah, buddies, a little bit of rockabilly. It's the Bennington Show. Ron Bennington, Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And this Saturday is our GPS, where we just get armpit deep in rockabilly with GPS Memphis.
This Saturday, February 6th, 3 p.m. on Deep Tracks, Channel 27.
We got crazy with that whole early to mid 50s sound of Memphis. And I jumped into a big Jerry Lee and, of course, Little Richard thing because he came up towards the end and did stuff with Sun Records. But I don't know what it is about that rock and roll piano. I think it's the best thing that's ever happened.
It's the best. And I think that of all the scenes we've done, this one I'm having the most trouble shaking the sound. Like, right. I kind of want to keep listening to that genre for a little while.
Yeah, and you literally want to just be all crazy and sweaty and nutty down south in the 50s and just sitting around drinking a couple Coca-Colas with the boys.
Yeah, just a couple Cokes. Just getting cool.
No Pepsis down there. Not down south. All right, it is the Bennington Show. Over the weekend in the comedy news, Louis C.K. shocked everybody by just releasing this interesting kind of a play. I guess I would call it more of a play than a web series. And who knew that he even knew about Grease? I mean, it was amazing to me. The sets, the sound, the excitement.
The dance.
Oh, my God. I was doing the hand jive on my couch.
It just really felt like the 50s, didn't it?
It felt like Lee was back. Yeah, that was the 50s. We're the T-Birds. Are you? Are you the T-Birds, man? No, of course, Louis did this, Horace and Pete. First of all, we probably have to do giant spoiler alert on this, because if you're a Louis C.K. fan, first of all, go over and get it now. It's only $5. But, when you take a step back and see that he did something so different from all the other work that he did, and the amount of people who came and wanted to do this odd project with him, it's stunning.
It's crazy. The cast is nuts. I don't want to say if you haven't seen, but each introduction to each character as they came out, I was like, what? How is this happening?
It was a mixture of New York comics and, great established actors. At least 4 legendary names.
Huge,
in the acting business, as well as the music being done by an absolute legendary person that when you just think back, what was like 8-9 years ago, Louis was just a regular New York comic, and now he's got the strength to draw these people in, and he's kind of got the guts to put out a project that may not appeal to all of his fan base.
Yeah, I had that thought while watching it. I was thinking, I wonder how many people are going to say, whoa, this is genius and an amazing undertaking, and how many people are like, okay, so this is where I get off the ride because I'm not really...
Pretentious bullshit, liberal egghead bullshit.
Yeah.
But see, the deal, I think, is this. That's the thing that makes you actually an artist and not just some branding person who looks to supersell the audience that you already have, not looking to say, oh, and by the way, you also get this, which I know you guys like, and there's, fanny packs with my name on it, and you can get them as well. Because that's what a lot of people do once they get an audience. How do you keep giving those people what they want as well as upselling them?
Yeah, and to take on a project that is a big undertaking that could be perceived as pretentious. I mean, I think it's awesome to make that decision rather than to say, I'm going to wait around for someone to, oh man, I didn't get that sitcom, or like this, this thing didn't work out, or I lost this movie role. It's like really, it's taking your own art and kind of saying, "This, I'm in control of this."
Yeah, he definitely is in control of it. When you think of the fact that not only did he write it and direct it and produce it and release it, there's no green light anywhere in that. There's no thing of I took this to some people and they liked it and they gave me notes and they're hoping, that I can get these people. He just did everything on his own and then just releasing it as a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he doesn't know exactly what to call it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. And how exciting it was that he released it without any fanfare. I mean, normally if you've been working on a project like this, you're going to want to lead up to it and say...
Talk about it on the Tonight Show.
Exactly. And you're going to say all these incredible actors who got involved in these great comics. But it was really exciting. Actually, when I woke up that morning and saw everyone, kind of buzzing, everyone needs to, get on this, download it. My first reaction is, I knew about this, right? Like I started to feel crazy. Like I had missed some sort of announcement.
Nobody knew about it. Yeah. And I had talked recently to some of the people that are in the project and they never brought it up. Because this had to be going on a while, dude.
It had to.
Because that was, it was a lot of work to make that happen.
It was a lot of work and, considering the amount of people you have involved, that's a lot of planning to get those people's schedules all aligned in order to do that. And unlike a TV show, since it's set like a play, all of these characters are in the same room at the same time.
Right. And there's movement that's happening and like the camera goes from one place to the other. So at one point you're a background player and the next point you're doing this long monologue. It's not easy stuff. Chris was out, losing money Sunday night, betting the Pro Bowl like any degenerate gambler would do. Just the stupidest thing you could ever come up with. And you said everybody was a buzz.
People just all weekend long, people like Saturday and then on Sunday, people were just talking about, did you see this thing Louis C.K. just released? Like, I'm not sure what it is, but
were they digging it?
Some people weren't, some people were. People who weren't digging it, I was annoyed with. I yelled at them, how could you not possibly like this?
But it's one of those things, I felt it as I was watching it, thinking this is going to divide a lot of people. Some people...
Well, we love plays, so it's not shocking to us, but people have that weird thing about, when we've talked about this, before, that when you go to a play and the lights go down and then suddenly this, the stage lights go up on a kitchen and somebody's just yelling, Mother! Mother, has the Iceman come in yet? And you just get that whole fuck. I'm going to be sitting here feeling. You know what I mean? It's it's something that we're not, I imagine at one time humans knew how to relax into that, but we're not.
Or if it comes out of the gate with just too much drama, like, remember that year that you fell down the well, the year Dad died, and you're like, uh-oh.
But the thing is, when theater works, it's better than movies, it's better than anything. I mean, it's, and I'm watching this thing like, on a computer with my fucking mouth open. Like, I had to go back and re-watch it just so I could watch it unstunned. Because that's how stunned I was when it rolled out. And I know, like, Louis gets a lot of good press, so much that, it started to get a little annoying. Like, oh, yeah, I know.
Right. Genius.
I know. Yes. He's brilliant. This show's brilliant. Oh, and Woody Allen likes him. So at a certain point, you're like, enough. I think Gervais got that kind of good heat that almost made you kick back for no apparent reason. Louis got it. And now, of course, Amy's going through it, so there's like kickback of like enough of her and how great she is.
Yeah, exactly. It's really when everyone starts enjoying something you once enjoyed. And right. Like, actually, I hate that thing now.
Used to be better before you came around.
But you told me about Louis C.K. Yeah, I didn't mean it though.
Not that much.
I don't like him now.
But then, why I'm watching this, I'm like, yeah, of course, fucking of course. This is a really crazy, cool, bold move to make. And then it reminds you of how much that comedy is supposed to be edgy, But, you know what I mean? Just sitting around yelling out, fuck the hipsters, or, you know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, it seems like, oh, I see, you're trying to say something so shocking to me. But this is way more shocking to go out and do this, really, somewhat of an artistic endeavor, and to mix genres, to have comedians doing, and like, if the thing was just done with comedians, that would have been an interesting project. But the real big actors were fucking mind-blowing in this.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see them take on a couple of the more dramatic moments, more dramatic monologues, and they blow your mind.
But also, I remember even afterwards thinking, about my own family and the secrets of family, and why do we keep this thing going? Like being in those kind of discussions, which is the whole reason for theater.
Yes.
Literally, the whole reason for theater is for you to think about it in your own. And I don't just mean theater. I mean stand-up, monologue, film, obviously literature. You're supposed to sit there and identify on a human thing. That's why. When I see Star Wars or fucking whatever that Game of Thrones thing is, I get escape. I just don't want to do it all the time. I just don't want to constantly escape.
There's sometimes you escape too far.
Like, I think I'm most annoyed with Cam Newton for bringing fucking superheroes onto the football field. Why are you branding this fucking Superman thing again? It's 100 years old. Why are you acting like, oh, I'm the Superman character? It's dumb. It's fucking redone so many times. Move on. That's my little thing on Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Although I do like his crazy pants.
What's with his crazy pants?
Oh, he shocked the world by showing up wearing crazy pants. Some kind of weird zebra pants or something. And this was the only story all weekend long on ESPN.
I mean, they do look like a slimmer fit Zubaz pant.
First of all, the greatest thing about Zubaz is that they were comfort.
It wasn't the print for you?
No, it was wearing fucking PJs down the street. And it's acting like you just came from a workout when you didn't. I don't know who those stars are there.
I missed them.
A couple big stars, I'm sure.
Those are $900 Versace pants in zebra form.
Did anything hit him on the neck on the way out? Could have been his change. Because I think he threw fucking $90 at maybe a $45 pair of pants. So he wasn't even wearing these ironically. He's like, these are some fucking great pants I got on.
He's all about fashion, that Cam Newton. He's been criticized before.
Your boy's looking more like you all the time.
I missed him.
It's your morning wake-up gang. And he's partying with Stanley and now looking more and more like Stanley every day. It's sad. Your fucking crud runs up. How many bets did you miss during this stupid Pro Bowl game?
All my bets, which was take the under and take Team Rice at +3.
Why would someone bet on something called Team Rice? They don't give a shit. It's not even East, West, North, South, AFC, NFC. It's a pickup game that no one in Hawaii even shows up to see.
I didn't even know people bet on that. I guess they bet on everything.
Real people don't bet on it.
Okay.
Degenerates will bet on what time a train shows up. And that's where Stanley is now. And you haven't had a winning bet in forever.
I think the Super Bowl is really where I want to shine.
This is what annoys me about you. If you quietly lost your ass. But the fact that you go on Periscope and beg people to bet along with you is, you know what I mean? That's the stupidest part of this at all.
I guess it is coming off like begging at this point.
It's weird. Why do you want others to fail?
Because I want people to win with me. I want to have a nice
I have a feeling no one's betting with you, dude.
Do you think anyone's followed his lead?
How could they? Knowing his track record.
People think they're funny. They say, "Oh, I'm betting this way. I'm going to bet the opposite of Chris because he's an idiot."
Oh, today's the caucus. It's take your caucus out day in Iowa.
Yes.
Sanders is close with Hillary, and Tom Cruise doing a great job out there making a run up against Donald T. Rump, and they're all saying mean things about each other this morning. Just awful things.
So it's just the Democratic caucus.
Both.
It's both?
Yeah.
Both the same day?
Yeah, both the same day.
Exciting.
Well, I don't know. I mean, no one even understands caucus, or
right.
I definitely would never go vote at a caucus because you have to listen to your neighbor make a speech about who you should vote for.
All I understand is that you have to move with your physical body, and I don't know why that's the only part that I know. And I think
walk over and stand.
Like somebody, like you're actually standing in the middle, like, come on, this way.
Yeah, you have that. But when my neighbors try to talk to me about what an awful super shecky is. I mean, I should be involved in that. I'm like, I can't stop here in the lobby and hear your opinions. I certainly don't want to hear their opinions on Clinton and Sanders. And I'm not going to bring up a Trump because I live in Manhattan. So yeah, that whole weirdness of that. I mean, it's not even voting. It's so stupid.
And as we've said before, if you look back, the Iowa caucus does not really demonstrate. Yeah, it doesn't really.
Although, if Obama hadn't won Iowa, if she would have taken both states right away, Obama probably would have been gone.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that no money comes in if you lose, 3 in a row. I mean, you're going to see some Republicans drop out after this, and then again after New Hampshire, because at a certain point you're like, dude, you got fucking 2%, man. No one gives a shit.
What do you think is going to happen?
You're asking me for fucking money when you're trailing that big. No, you ain't getting shit from me. I'm giving my money to Bernie Sanders. I don't know who's supposed to give money to him. Give me money, and then you'll have less money later. Huh?
That doesn't sound like a great deal.
Feel the burn.
I do like that catchphrase.
Yeah, I do too. I was watching the stupid circus show about that, and there was like the nerds that just bring him out on stage. Everybody, if we could just all get together and feel the burn, and then people are pausing for the fucking applause that never comes. Yeah, I want to feel that burn! Please, sir, keep it down. Do it, Bernie! Look, 2 days ago, you threw something at me and knocked my glasses back up into my eyes. And that's fucking bullshit. I thought that's what you wanted! Nobody ever wants that. Do it! You should be at the other caucus. Burn! Burn it down! Jim in Iowa.
Hi there. Hey, I can explain the Iowa caucus process if you want.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Well, the Democrat and the Republican ones are completely different. The Republican one, you show up, a representative of each person gets 3 minutes to talk about their candidate. Then they pass out these little pieces of paper and you write down who you want. And they take them out of the room and count them and come back and tell you who won. And they actually advertise you'll be home in an hour. The Democratic one is the one that is crazy, the stuff you read about. All the Democrats show up in one room, and then they divide up into certain areas. Like all of Hillary's people will go in one corner, all the Bernies in another. 1 or 2 of O'Malley's will go into another slot. If you do not have 15% of the vote, you are deemed not viable, and then you don't count. So if you're one of those people, you just lost your vote. Then everybody tries various bits of horse trading and trying to convince everybody they should go with their candidate. And there's all kinds of, like I said, like horse trading and offers of this.
I mean, first of all, what kind of moron leaves the house without not knowing who his presidential vote is? I get that you don't know who you want the local judge to be, and you're confused by that. But if you haven't made up your mind right now, if you're on the fucking Trump train, you're crazy.
I'll figure it out at the caucus.
I'll see if one of these nice people has something to say to me. Again, about Bernie Sanders. The man is seriously the only person who cares about you right now. More than your mother and father. And certainly more than Billary. Billary. That's great! Let's feel that burn! Sir, you're a Republican and you don't even belong in this room.
I love catchphrases.
Then write one for yourself. Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna fucking. All right, Chris, what is your thing that you say when you like to take the points?
Yum yum, give me some.
But do your whole.
That's when I take my points. When I take my pluses. That's my thing.
I wish it wasn't, but it is.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I've been losing while going through this, but I think it's going to turn around for the Super Bowl.
And do it again when you like your points. I have been told time and time again from listeners that is thievery. A couple people said he outright stole it. A couple, how do you have a hipster Amy Schumer on your show is what somebody wrote to me.
What?
Yeah.
Where are they saying it's stolen from?
Well, go over to Twitter. We'll try to put it up right now as we speak. But Stanley definitely is in the crosshairs right now.
Oh, my God.
This is shocking to me.
So it's the Bennington Show Twitter. Gotta tell him what our Twitter is.
That's our Twitter account.
Yeah. And we'll be putting up where he stole it from.
Oh, my God.
I'm not accusing him. I'm just saying, is it parallel thinking? Or is this motherfucker... Did you not think you'd be caught, Chris?
Did you steal this?
I
Don't
did not
even say
steal
where.
this.
Just say yes or no. Did you steal this?
I happen to know it's from one of his favorite shows.
What?
That he watches and is constantly bringing up to me.
Nope. This is not
From a
thievery.
show?
No, I'll give you a hint. For once, it's not from Dave. This one is not from his best pal, but from his favorite show.
I'm in the dark here.
Because I'm telling you, Dave Pound people complain to me all the time. What is going on with your hand, dude?
Oh, God.
It's like falling asleep. I'm going to the doctor on Thursday and tomorrow.
That means that the
Both days?
first of all, why start with something further? Most people would say tomorrow and Thursday.
God, ass backwards in my brain.
Now, with the hand feels like it's asleep, right?
Yeah, the first three fingers.
And that means that that you either have a pinched nerve,
Yeah.
or the blood's not getting into it because your heart is seizing up.
I hope it's the former.
By the way, speaking of stealing, you've literally stole fucking Fez's act for being the multiple sick person. Today's
the surgeries.
Today's in the other room because you claim you have the flu.
Something's wrong with me. Yeah.
You know what it is? Because I saw you last night. You're detoxing. You did not heavily drink.
No, I did not.
So the body is reacting in a way. You know, it's just as dangerous to go off drugs and alcohol as it is to be on. You have some people, when you get to Stanley's thing, and again, look how hard he's looking at me trying to stay in the moment.
Oh, farther away from you today.
When he does that, he also, it's comical, it's comical the way he leans completely in.
Yes.
Like he doesn't even just stare intensely with eyes, but feels the need that the whole body has to come forward.
Oh my God, he almost fell off his fucking chair.
I'm good, I'm okay.
This reminds me of when I would drink and drive. I would basically have my fucking head over the steering wheel, paying such...
I also got the perk sweats real bad and didn't take any perks.
Well, that might be why you're freaked out. Why are you taking perks?
Wait, you're back on the perks?
No, I'm not, but I'm sweating like I was.
Okay, that doesn't make sense.
I'm just very sweaty.
That up that way. So did you find it? All right, so do your very noted impression of how much you like the points.
I love taking points. And
okay,
let's
watch this now. And Chris knows exactly where this is coming
he likes his hero dad, but he loves Scooter's peanut butter.
Yum, 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 yum. Scooter's peanut butter.
That's exactly where that comes from.
Oh my God.
There's
You ripped
another one,
off
too.
Stewie.
Stewie is his favorite because he's always saying to me, dude, did you see Stewie last night? Or, hey, man, did you check out my Stewie shirt? Remember when he was wearing that Stewie shirt everywhere?
every day.
Yeah.
I love, I love Seth MacFarlane and I love that show, but I did not steal that from.
You're doing it exactly.
No.
And multiple people are sending that.
Oh, my God.
Here's another one.
I like garbage peanut butter, and I wear my I voted sticker for a week and a half. Yum, 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 yum.
That's exactly it.
Bullshit.
Oh my God, he stole it from Stewie.
Bob, look over there. Yum, 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 yum.
It's totally different. I'm going.
By the way, could someone do that with Chris's head being on Stewie's body? I am so glad football season is ending. And this fucking national disaster of ours finally stops. Who bets on this shitty Pro Bowl game? I couldn't even watch it. Here's what I did with the Pro Bowl. I had it on for a minute. Then I switched over, watched the opening number of Grace, and then just turned off my fucking TV. Just sat.
Just forget it then.
What is wrong with America? I gotta admit this, though. When Pink came out doing the Frankie Valli song, I'm like, man, they fucking put a lot into this. There's a lot of, that's a long, she must have won like 600 yards in the opening number.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was her.
You didn't know it was Pink?
No, she didn't even look the same to me.
Pink always looks different, no matter what's happening with her.
Damn.
But then I was like, do that fucking You're Coming Up because you got to get the party started song next. Instead, she's out. I wish that we just had Pink running through the mall singing her tunes. And then she'll also do that thing where she just gets on a trapeze and goes 100 fucking yards in the air and hangs upside down and sings a tune. You're like,
she's a trapeze artist as well. Singer, songwriter, trapeze artist.
I like your song, but could you do it upside down on a trapeze? Yum, 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 Stewie.
Not Stewie. It's totally different. He's saying yum, yum, yum.
You can't really do it anymore now that we know it's stolen.
No, I'm doing it because it's mine. I know I've seen
It's
this.
not yours, dude.
He's saying yum, yum, yum. I'm saying.
The other thing is when you're saying that when I watch your stuff, you're like, I'm in my smoke room, dogs, eh? By the way, did you see that before he pulled it?
Yeah, I caught it before it went down because I got the alert, you know. So I was like,
didn't see
you watched it live?
Yeah, I watched it live, and then I was like, because he doesn't go on that often.
No.
So when he goes on, I'm like, well, I'm fucking watching this.
So
It was already pulled by the time
yeah. By the time he woke up and went, what the fuck did I do last night? This is why you need to be following Eastside Dave, because you don't know what you're going to get.
When he cracks the scope, it's fucking on.
He ran a gossip column on Sirius XM. This one guy who's no longer with the fucking company. And everyone's just writing, Sabian? It was really fucking hilarious. All right, Scott wants to help us out here. Hey, Scott.
Hey, buddies. I just want to first say that Chris's noise that he makes is like nails on a fucking chalkboard.
Yeah.
But Grease last night was pretty cool, but did anyone notice that the high school set looks exactly like the high school set from the show Boy Meets World? I swear it's identical.
Well, I got news for you. I really didn't see either. All right, more things are coming in from where Chris stole this from. It's amazing. It's amazing what a thief he is.
Parallel thinking.
Dude, what is going on in the hallway here? All the big mucky mucks are hanging around for someone to walk down the hall.
I'm finding out.
There's a lot of mucky muck going on.
Yeah.
And everyone looks very serious, too. Like,
it looked like Barack Obama's going to come down the hall.
Are we on schedule?
Is everything? Yes, he's going for a piss now. That's what's always funny when, like, there's a really big star. Yes, he decided to have his lunch at this point. Like, everybody will go out of their way. Right, there's the heads of so many different departments. They're 2 feet from Chris, and he has the text instead of sticking his head out.
Stick your head out, Chris.
Yum, 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 yum.
Was that Stewie?
Yeah.
Love Stewie.
All right, let's hold on for when Chris gets back into the room. This is another thing that's supposedly busting him. Who's the big star?
Miss Piggy.
Dude, why are you acting like that? It's no different than the fucking Miss Piggy that's in a store. I saw this happen before when the Muppets came here, and fucking people were running as hard as they could to get to the lobby.
Like, what is it? Like, she's in like a box walking down the hall? Like, or like
no, the guy carries her.
Carries her on his arm or something?
Yeah, and then he comes in and he does your show as Miss Piggy rather than the guy who the puppeteer behind Miss Piggy.
Cool.
This always comes up in radio where they're like, do you want Finding Nemo on your show? And you're like, you mean Albert Brooks? No, he'll only be on as Nemo. No, then. I'm not going to act like I'm talking to a cartoon fish. By the way, I'm just pointing out I wasn't offered that because I would have taken that one. But they do that kind of shit all the time. So they offer you...
So you have to interview the Muppet.
You have to interview the puppet. Is what you have to do. And then to do that without, being an idiot. All right, here's, this is Points, num, 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 from Wedding Crashers.
That's what we call a sack lunch. Num, 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 num.
Oh my God, you got it from Sack Lunch.
You fucker.
I love Wedding Crashers. You know that.
And you know what? Now that I think of it, he's always going, daiquiris, like that.
Yeah. What's like a daiquiri?
Maybe that's where he got it from.
He got it from all these places.
He steals
and steals.
I am not a thief. Parallel thinking is what I'm...
Reddit is going to open up a column on you and all the things that you steal.
You're next.
What I do is sounds totally...
Oh, it's the same thing.
I hate it.
And I throw that slurp in because I'm slurping up the Points juice.
Yeah, I know. Just like he was doing his sack dance.
Love that scene. Familiar with it.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, you're real
obvious.
Familiar. I'm not stealing anything. I'm just, it's my thing. No one's doing it with like points where it's like +3 or whatever. Give me,
we know you stole points from Chris Hardwick.
Oh, okay. So you took the two. You took Chris Hardwick and Sack Lunch.
Yeah, and then he says that he's in a smoke room.
Everyone says take the points.
Oh, so you stole it from everyone.
No!
Okay.
Why don't you just have one thing that's your own?
Scope Bros.
Who thought that fucking Steve Leeds would be so excited about Miss Piggy?
Oh, goodness. Everyone's
He
out
loves
there.
her.
Like, I can't believe the amount of people. And the flash bulbs. Have you ever seen the flash bulbs flashing the way they are right now?
Well, it is felt. I get excited too.
Oh, the texture alone.
Yeah. If Chris would have his curtain pulled, they'd have to walk past him because he'd be in every fucking picture.
I've definitely done that before when there's been celebrities outside, and I just stood behind the celebrity as the paparazzi were going off. It's pretty cool.
Maureen.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Oh, I believe that it was Jessie J in the Grease last night. And
what?
Pink.
That's why you didn't think?
Yeah.
Now, did anyone else think it was Pink?
I thought it was Pink.
No, I was confused. I thought you were saying Pink did the Pro Bowl halftime show.
Why would you be surprised when I say I turned on Grease? I never made it anywhere. So that was not Pink?
No, that was Hot Shot Jessie J.
I don't. First of all, I don't even know who Jessie J is. I thought she wrote for the Hardwick show.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the face.
Chris, doesn't Jessie J write for the Hardwick show? Comedian.
Yeah.
Thank.
Oh no, it's Jesse Joyce.
Thanks for being in the thing. All right, Marie, you're going into the pretty good prize closet that Chris Stanley runs now from his flu room. But congratulations for that. And I feel like that girl looked just like Pink to me.
Yeah, now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
I felt crazy. I was like, this is weird that I didn't recognize Pink.
And Vito, you cost me a prize because you could have corrected me right away. Maureen, congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you so much, guys.
Hey, did you enjoy the Grease TV show?
I have to say, I really didn't watch it.
Then how did you know?
Just like you, I put it on for a second, and that was it.
All right, pretty good prize.
It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have pretty good prizes. It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have good prizes.
Green! You win! Signed DVD! Artie Lang, Jack and Coke, signed by Artie Lang! That's a pretty good prize!
Well, anyone who's a Jesse J fan is certainly going to be an
Makes
Artie Lang,
sense.
Jack and Coke fan.
I get the
Great.
tie.
Ray's gonna love it! She's gonna...
Great job. All right, now tell me why you're laughing. Gail, say it. Say why you're laughing.
Because
No, you weren't. What were you pointing at and laughing?
I was laughing that he put up the dance again for.
Now, how does that help? And I have to hear constant fucking ham fingers instead of people focusing on the show.
But I didn't. Now we have a dance that goes with a pretty good
but
prize.
it's not a visual show. If we were a TV show, we'd all be doing the dab together. I hope he wears those pants during the game.
Oh, please.
Take the fine, Cam.
You're gonna find the pants fine?
You know, there was somebody else wore the wrong pants this weekend too. LeBron James. What are you doing?
I was really excited when I saw it.
Does fucking comedic timing mean nothing to you? I'm setting this up for the air. You child. You're like a fucking kindergarten kid. Miss Stacy's here. LeBron went out and wore the wrong shorts during the fucking game. Now, this would have come to a point where we all found out it was LeBron.
Yeah.
Instead of him yelling out, it's LeBron!
Teacher!
Miss Pig is here.
Also, you forgot to give out the homework.
Fucking, he's going to be that fourth grader who gets to take the VIP around the school.
Yes.
That was a job I never got.
Cool dude alert.
What did he say?
Cool dude alert?
That's what Joe would be. Set off a cool dude alert from doing that.
Do you mean that sarcastically because he's so uncool?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool dude alert. That's, by the way, has never been happened for a cool person. Like Lou Reed has never walked into the room and heard cool dude alert. It's fucking Lou Reed. There he is wearing the wrong fucking shorts. So I guess that'll get his ass fined. Look, he blamed it on the staff in the locker room. There's somebody who hands him his shorts. He has a dresser, like a Shakespearean actor.
So someone just happened to hand him the wrong shorts. And then
According to him, I doubt it. Normally everyone goes into the fucking locker and gets their own clothes on.
Didn't you just look down and say, hey, mine are different than everyone?
Put one foot up, LeBron. All right, bring it right down through the hole. There you go.
Good boy. Good boy.
The amount of people calling with yum yums that are ripped off, we appreciate it, but we're going to stop. I can't look up at a full board of people. We know Chris Stanley is a thieving thief.
I'm not
drug addict that's kicking fucking some kind of opiate right now.
I'm about to take my shirt off. I'm sweating so much. I'm so hot in here.
But then you think you might have the flu, which I have the one rule. If you have the flu, stay out of here. Because not only do you make me sick, but there's $1 billion worth of radio talent in a small area. If the flu rushes through and they're going, where did that come from? The Bennington show?
Oh my God.
I mean, we have some of our guys can't handle a flu anymore.
I understand, but I'm
we can
isolating.
lose Cousin Brucey.
No.
Yes, with one fever.
I'll stay away from him and his entire staff.
It isn't a matter of staying away. You're using the microphones. You're in the halls. You're sweating like you live in fucking Thailand and are also kicking opiates.
How many times has he been sick since we have been doing this show?
Sick or hurt. Sick or hurt. And that's the Fez Watley story. You have taken on that thing.
Look, all right, so I've fallen down a few times. I've got a couple of surgeries. I'm going to get past it, though. I'm getting better. I'm getting healthier.
How are you saying you're getting healthier You're down to that weird 1930s exercise.
A wife beater, dog.
That weird Andre the Giant leotard.
See, I was going to go with Gorilla Monsoon, but you have a 1960s Gorilla Monsoon wrestling gear on. Why do you wear that?
I like the way it looks.
This is also funny up on the iBang. It's Gurian running around, jumping around his column. But if you go down to where the pictures are, because he spent half the week in Florida and half the week up here, you get the full, there's his summer look that he has every summer. And then, of course, his winter look that he has every winter.
Oh, this is wonderful. This could be its own fashion column, really.
I guess if fashion's only had 2 seasons and didn't update the clothing year by year. For Gurian, black is still the new black. This year, what's in is last year's clothes. So make sure you go into your closet and put on last year's clothes.
I love Gurian. His summer look is the best. You should never abandon it. Like I like to rock a wife beater too. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of rocking the Gurian.
That isn't a wife beater. That's a Gorilla Monsoon, and that's the only things that you wear. And it's disgusting.
I need some scarves.
Look at the
picture. Dude, you've got to pose like that.
Please.
And we'll put the pictures next to each other. Just do it so we can see it. How do you not know how to pose like a man has a wrestling move? Oh, he doesn't see what we say. Okay, that makes me feel better.
I thought he was looking at that.
I thought he did not know how to pose. You got to look a little more menacing. Okay, that's pretty good.
That's good.
You seriously are such a stick in the spokes to everyone else's life. We can never go forward because there's some hospitalization or illness with you.
If you remember, all Friday, all we were talking about is your tailbone because you fell on your ass while scoping.
And seriously, I don't want to come in and go, all right, what's going on? Well, I chipped a tooth. What does that fucking got to do with work? When I say what's going on, I mean work.
Well, I'm sick again.
It's so fucking infuriating.
Immune system's really falling apart, I guess. Got a bad knee.
Maybe if you slept and didn't do so many pills and alcohol and be constantly vaping.
It's all coming to an end for 8 weeks.
That'll be a good time.
Is that how long rehab is now? 8 weeks?
This is my arbitrary amount of time I picked.
Dude, is Don in tomorrow?
Yes, he is.
I'm going to pitch him rehab for you.
Don't. You shouldn't pitch that.
And then you'll come back healthy, ready to work.
I'm ready to work, though I'm not healthy. I woke up today. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm sick. Still coming in. I'll just chill in the booth.
People are saying finally the heat is off Amy Schumer and Bernie Madoff. Thanks, Chris. Garland Fence says, more like horizontal thinking, you damn drunk. Oh, God. All right, somebody said Blue Apron last night, shrimp, pineapple with jasmine and rice. One of my favorite ever.
I'm so excited because I'm doing that one either tonight or tomorrow.
Is that right?
Yes.
Damn, it's a good one.
I can't wait for it.
I wish I would have got 3 of those this week. Just kept eating the jasmine rice over and over. Pretty good prize.
I did the Italian beef sandwich
How'd you
this
like it?
week.
Because I haven't done it yet.
It's very good. Very, very good. I was very pleased with it.
It's just the Italian beef itself. Throws me off because, they try to act like it's a Chicago cheesesteak.
Yeah, I understand. There's a lot of tension there, but I think this will make things better because you will eat it and understand where they're coming from.
All right. This comes in from Steven. Denton Fez also said that he had a girlfriend that nobody saw.
Okay, this is getting weird.
That's how Fez used to hide his homosexuality, and so well for so many years, by saying that he had a girlfriend in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada.
I'm going to get in that gay parade.
Yeah. That he said that he was going to go see this weekend and sex with.
And no one believed him.
Well, I remember, see, this is the weird thing. I remember there was some kind of best radio host in New York City thing when Fez and I got here, and we were, we won our time slot or whatever the dumb thing was. But they put down Ron and Fez as the gay and straight radio, but they put a fucking question mark like next to straight.
And quotes. Quotes are on straight, not gay.
I don't know whether you should be laughing or on my side. That my lawyer should have handled that.
The gay and straight team.
Weirdly, the guy who wrote that column, I think, could have fallen into the same fucking quote thing. I never saw him with a chick.
Never took a bride?
It's weird.
Not that I know of. Oh, God, that's really fucking funny, though. You are a mess, Chris Stanley.
It's all coming together, though.
No, it isn't. It's all falling apart.
I feel like it's coalescing into something. Outside of the flu and falling down a flight of stairs and walking in the cars.
Well, I will say this. Your sweaty hair is giving you a good look for the Rockabilly GPS Memphis show.
Yeah, you are. You're
got
perfect
a
for that.
girl.
You look like you should be cutting Bearcat right now. You ever hear that fucking song where it just sounds like Hound Dog, but it's called Bearcat?
Yes.
You're not nothing but a Bearcat. And you're like, really? That's awful. That's Chris Stanley close to someone else's material. I want you to go in and get a picture of him looking like Gorilla Monsoon. Chris, get your full look down, too. You got to take the shirt off on it, though, and exist. You really do. Look, why is that your undershirt?
I think it looks good.
For you, though. It's too big.
Look at the jizz stain on the back of it.
Ew! Get me out of here!
There's a giant jizz stain on the back of your shirt, dude.
So it's a little cummy. What's the big deal?
Did the dude take it right out of your ass and just lay that load onto the back?
Don't come at me. You better not come at me, motherfucker.
I don't want any
I
ass
told
stains.
you already.
Right, let me take a look at it. I don't know why somebody would think they could just take one picture and it's going to be perfect. That's pretty perfect.
Let me see.
2 and 3.
Yeah. All right, send those over with the picture of Gorilla Monsoon so we get them both up side by side. No, it's got to be Gorilla in the same shirt.
No, it's got it's got to be the one.
Unless Chris wants to just be in his black panties.
No, I'm not doing that.
With no shirt on. Chris, I'm gonna have you fucking wrestling all the marks on the midway. If you can stay 3 minutes with Animal, you will get a fresh $10. And they would always break the legs of people, those fucking pricks, when they did those things. They'd always go back into the same move where they just would break someone's leg. Like, how's this entertainment?
It's hurting people.
Oh my God.
All right, Millie said, how can Chris go to rehab? He's never been habbed. That is true.
That's just like a nice prehab for you, even.
Charlie.
Hey, Ronnie B. and the Benningtons, how are you?
Good.
Ronnie, you brought me back with that story. I remember it, and it was so funny because Fez is saying, we don't care, Ronnie. We don't care if they think we're gay.
Let them
You're
think
like,
what they want to think. I was
no,
like
one
the
of
fucking...
us do. One of us do care. It was the funniest thing ever, Ronnie.
That was the fun part of that show because I used to be the victim sometimes. I'd be like, but I honestly do care. We don't care what they say. If they want to picture us together, let them. I don't want people to picture us together. But that is true. Like when Fez used to be a side character on the Ron and Ron show, people would say, to me, hey, is he gay? And I'd be like, I don't know. And then literally when we called it the Ron and Fez show, people would say, are you guys gay? Like, what the fuck? It's not a gay friend. This is why little boys don't want to hang out with gay kids, because people assume that they're having sex together.
They're like by association.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not saying that I was a little boy then. What I'm saying,
when I was just a boy.
What I'm saying is like, now you can understand.
And this is why little boys like me.
Now people are going to think, because of Chris, that I'm in a professional wrestling organization from the 1940s.
We don't want people to think that. That's not our brand.
Let him think it, Ron.
We sent them both over?
Yeah, sent them next to each other.
Yeah. Oh, very exciting. Oh, fuck. Yeah, GPS this Saturday. Very, very excited about it.
GPS Memphis premieres Saturday, February 6th at 3 p.m. on Deep Tracks, Channel 27. And I believe I'll do a pre-scope, as I usually do.
Oh, maybe give away a little something?
Maybe a little something.
Something?
We'll have to discuss. Yeah, a little something.
Do we have any more of the famous Bennington shirts?
Yes, we do.
Oh.
That might be something. Because that thing, we made sure, we only had it for the audience from the Thanksgiving show, and then there was a couple left over. But those are tough to get.
Yes.
I know, did you ever even send yours down to the Queen? You're supposed to.
Yes, it was sent, yes.
You don't feel weird about doing something 5 months too late?
Oh, I feel terrible.
Did you guys see the SAG Awards with Carol Burnett coming out there?
Oh my God. Niagara Falls, Frankie Angel. I just adore Carol Burnett, and I loved the introduction they gave her. I thought her speech was great.
And Steve Carell walking her up. And
really
God.
Sweet.
And yeah, for those girls that basically, I like it when people say, if not for you, I wouldn't be doing what I think it's one of the important things in life to be able to say, hey, even though I never met you, this thing mattered to me. So many people are afraid to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Because they want to be so original. No one's saying that Tina Fey went up and did Carol Burnett's act, but she's classy enough to say, when I saw Carol Burnett do it, I was like, oh, I see. That's something a person can do.
Yeah, it's awesome. There was actually a moment, and I can't tell if it actually was her, but as Carol Burnett was walking up, I'm pretty sure you can see Kristen Wiig in the background, and she looks like she's really crying. And that really touched me to see her reacting that way. I thought it was awesome.
Well, when the whole room stood up and Carol was just looking at him, it was great. You know, Carol Burnett came in here and had Tim Conway and Vicki Lawrence, and they sat in those 3 seats. And this has never happened before. I felt like it was my relatives that I haven't seen since I was a little kid. You ever know that when you get to see an aunt and uncle after, 20 years or whatever? And it was the weirdest feeling with sitting there.
Yeah, and I think that comes from that feeling of, growing up with them.
They were
kind
in
of
your living room.
Yeah.
All right, the picture of Chris Stanley as the wrestler. A bad job grimacing and trying to look exactly like him. There's a lack of perfection here in the post, but the shirt is the exact same one. You actually look good and slender there, Chris. You look good next to Gorilla Monsoon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Gorilla.
This was flattering.
You look like a young Bruce Springsteen, as a matter of fact. 1970s Bruce Springsteen.
I'll take that.
Sandy. No, you don't have to go around and look up pictures of a young Bruce Springsteen. I know what he looks like. That's why I said his name. Oh, yeah. So if you didn't see that, that is up to, that's up on the iBang today as well. Another weird weekend for Johnny Football where they went looking for him with a fucking police helicopter because he had an argument with his girlfriend. He left the house and she thought that he went out to kill himself in the woods.
Had to. That's why else would the police helicopter be called in? Unless they thought he was to hurt himself.
What is going on with this dude?
Same thing going on with Chris. So literally 100%. These guys should have and then go into rehab.
What about redab?
That's a problem for you.
Yeah, he's a train wreck. He's off the rails.
You used to be the biggest fan of his. And we all said to you, he's a train wreck.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you stole from Amy Schumer.
Okay.
Again. And the other thing you stole from Amy Schumer is that skirt that you wore in here on Friday.
Yeah, it was very high.
I want you guys to think I look good.
That's one of those knockoff skirts that they do like after the Oscars that you could buy the same dress for $60.
Yeah, that's where he gets his fashions.
Yeah.
I see it on TV. I see someone look good. Why shouldn't I want to look good?
But you do. I don't know what's wrong with this fucked up kid other than he's just all fucked up all the time.
He's got to get away from this girl because it's the last 3 incidents have been involved with her.
That's his problem, the girl.
Yeah.
Well, and other things also, but he's got to get away from this chick and just worry about Johnny. Have some Johnny time. He shouldn't be in a
It
relationship.
seems like the girl's the real problem.
Yeah.
here.
Have some Johnny time. Because Johnny's head is together so much that he just gets rid of that crazy bitch who he screamed, I'm going to kill myself and ran off into the desert or the woods, whatever fucking weird West Texas thing they had going there.
Once he gets rid of Crazy Putty, everything will be fine.
I think he was getting fucking chased by that fucking dog from No Country for Old Men. He was running. By the way, I forget where I saw the thing, but instead of just putting Johnny Football up, they put Ray Liotta driving his car and looking up at the helicopter. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Internet. You're the best, Internet.
Love a good meme.
Well, I don't know if it was a meme, Chris. It was just a picture.
God, Chris.
There's Carla just put up a nice picture of King Kong Bundy. If we shave Chris down all the way. Bundy must be dead, right?
I believe he's still alive.
That would really be amazing with all the people that are dead. And then Bundy lives on.
I hope he still is.
Still alive, 58 years old.
He's only 58?
58?
Yeah, 58.
Are you sure?
Sure. Check the date on that article and make sure it's not 1989. It's under the article that the Internet is new.
Wikipedia says 1957 is when he was born. I mean, he could have lied to them.
This is stunning to me because he looked so old back in the 80s.
Yeah, that's
He
shocking.
would have been in his 20s.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Yeah. He'd have been like 27 or 28 in that picture right there. He looks 58 there.
That's insane.
I think he's fudging the numbers in his Wikipedia article.
Doubt it.
Maybe he's got a fucking Benjamin Button thing going.
He could.
I use that a lot for a guy who's never seen Benjamin Button.
I do that with must love dogs. Like I will describe myself as like I'm very must love dogs, and someone will say, "Have you seen that movie?" No, but I do know it's a title of a movie.
I saw it. It's unbelievably great.
Does it define me?
Yeah. And you're always after a guy who makes canoes for a living.
Oh my God, I had no idea there were canoes in it. Dogs and canoes?
Wooden canoes, I think, that he would make.
Okay.
Just walking
I need
around
to get around to this.
Walking around Central Park, hanging out at the boathouse. I don't know, if you go by fucking movies, New York is a hell of a lot more romantic than, it is. It's more like people hooking up and fucking outside of a bar.
It's a lot dirtier and louder. And just fucking sloppy drunk.
And smells.
Yeah. The lovely. Well, first of all, today is February 1.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people walking around New York City today in shirt sleeves. There are people let alone not wearing a coat, not wearing a jacket. There's something crazy about the world that this is February in New York. Normally in February in New York, one of us has lost it and the rest of us are saying, No, dude, we're going to make it. We make it through February. It's March before you know it.
It was a couple winters ago.
Like 2.
That I had something like 5 or 6 friends who said, nope, I'm out. They moved to the West Coast or they moved to Austin. They moved down south because they were like, I cannot live through another winter. I don't want to do it. And this winter has been non-existent. There's been like 4 cold days. There was 1 snowstorm and everything else has been really weirdly warm. Normally we're saying in April, come on guys, it's spring. We still shouldn't be having these cold days.
I think in July it's going to be like 130 to make up for it.
Oh no,
I'm going to kill myself.
That does make up for it. But yeah, we got that's what he feels like on the inside. He's 130 around his ham heart. All right, fucking Donald Trump. This just happened. He offered everybody who votes for him $50. He's going to screw this up.
Damn it.
And he's sitting there with a stack of 50s. Just a giant stack of 50s. Show me your voting slip and I'll hand you 50. There's the coolness. He's our man.
Hell yeah, Jeremy Tepper, he's the dude.
He likes us better than our own PD. Wait, do we have a PD?
Think so.
I don't think we do. Who is it?
Is anyone running this right now?
I thought one of the for the channel.
Yeah, for the channel. That's what a program director is.
I believe Aaron said he was that.
I believe he said he was. If he was, he'd be down here talking to us. Hey guys, this is what's going on.
Oh, then we don't have a PD.
No, we're alone.
We're all alone in the world. You're doing a call back to something we didn't even do earlier. Yeah. People are like, wait, that's a weird song. It's 55 degrees right now.
Yeah.
On February 1st. Tomorrow's fucking Groundhog's Day. You might as well leave that thing in. We already know. Early spring.
Yeah.
We got it.
It's not even early spring. It's spring right now. It's happening.
You know what? This isn't an early spring. This is still a late fall.
We had 1 freakish snowstorm in fall. Otherwise,
Santa Claus came wearing a mask. I'm telling you, things are weird. Oh, by the way, this should come up. A very big part of Gurian's column this week, and one that he's incredibly proud of, is that he was at Abe Vigoda's funeral. And Jeffrey Ross and Gilbert Godfrey both turned it into like a roast. Supposedly, Gilbert screamed the whole way through and was hilarious. And they got applause breaks at the funeral.
Jeffrey does like getting into those big celebrity funerals.
He loves a celebrity funeral.
Yeah.
He says it's nice to be recognized. It's nice to be thought of that way. Not everybody is, you know?
It's true. He's got a
You know
point.
what I got to do sometime? To send you to a fucking diner with Jeffrey and watch him read every item on the menu before he makes his pick.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
I would do that with him.
He's done this a couple times to me now. Like, you want to grab a cup of coffee? And I'm like, sure, I'll have a cup of coffee with you. And then he orders a meal. And I'm drinking coffee, and I have to sit with him through his meal. So now, he's like, do you want a cup of coffee? I go, no, I definitely don't. Because I don't have 2.5 hours of watching someone take small bites and then ask for a fucking to-go platter. He always leaves with like, even if it's like a quarter of his chicken club.
Is he consistent with what he orders at the diners? Or?
No.
Okay.
He's all over the place.
So he does mix it up.
There's eggs at any time. But you can tell by looking at him, he's a very tiny, slow eater. And then he always leaves with food.
He's a slight man.
We had dinner with him in Montreal when he sent back the water. He was reading that menu forever. We all knew what we were going to eat in 2 seconds.
Who doesn't have ice? And then the last time we went out to dinner, he didn't get ice with his fucking water. Stop it. Look. I mean, I'm not making tea. I'm having a little water. I mean, come on here. I know. And he goes, what? I go, we're in a different country. Maybe they don't put fucking ice in the water in Montreal. What do you want to do? Change
cold
their,
up here.
Yeah, change their customs. Most of these people want water to thaw out. They're pouring it on their boots.
Excuse me, there's still ice in this water?
Where'd you get it, from outside? So anyway, it is a crazy fucking winter, though. Crazy winter. We were bringing up earlier that you can't get a Pepsi down south. But, Chris, you said that Pepsi's opening up a Times Square place?
Yeah, they're opening up a hipster restaurant. They're calling it the Cola House. And it's going to be centered around the cola nut. And it's for the menu. And they're trying to make soda cool again because soda sales are down. So this is their idea to make soda cool again.
Well, the problem is, for them, if you're in that business, it used to be Coke and Pepsi. What do you want when you go out? But now there's like 50 different kind of beverages besides even soda. You know, like the iced tea world got gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
The flavored water world got gigantic. And then there was like milky drinks now.
Yeah.
You know? Like a coconut
A lot
water.
of flavored seltzers
Yeah,
out there.
the Italian sodas.
Exactly.
But what makes you think this is a hipster?
Yeah, you said
place
it like
if it's
that's
in
what
Times Square?
how they announced it.
We're opening up a hipster bar for all you
Just-
hipsters.
Where we hang out.
Brooklyn is like, hipsters, there's going to be a new place for us to hang out.
It's actually in the meatpacking district. It wasn't in Times Square. I screwed that up. But so it is a hip place to have at your restaurant.
It's not a hipster place. Have you been to the meatpacking district?
Yes, I have.
And what is there?
Bros and
Yeah,
Italian
It's
people.
Eurotrash.
Yeah, and suits and tourists.
In their press release, they also said they're going to have this is their words, an alchemist making specialty drinks, like a mixologist, but they're calling it an alchemist. So I guess there's like mixed drinks with Pepsi and whatnot.
But not booze.
No, there'll be booze. They're serving alcohol.
So there's a bartender.
So this is a bar where they're featuring Pepsi.
But they're trying to really zero in on young people. They want like young kids to like.
Who doesn't do that when they open up a club? Everyone.
Yeah, but it's odd. The Pepsi is now in the business and club
Why is it
business.
odd? They own Taco Bell just to sell Pepsi. They own Pizza Hut just to sell Pepsi.
Now, I thought the way you started to say it, I thought what you were saying is this place was going to be like where a soda jerk would be. Like, I thought it was going to be like an old-timey soda place, but it's a bar
It's
that
a bar
features
restaurant
Pepsi.
called Cola House, and the entire menu is going to be centered around the cola nut. Or I guess where cola comes from.
So well, you got a cola nut sandwich?
Yeah, or like have stuff like dusted with cola nuts. They haven't released the menu or the drinks yet.
Hold on, what's a cola nut exactly? I'm confused.
It is a non-cola nut. Yeah, look, he's looking around when it's his story. And there's nothing I hate more than when someone brings something up to you and you ask a follow-up question and they start hitting their phone.
Cola nut.
Yeah, let me try to get this. Hey, Sean, North Carolina.
Hey, where do y'all get the whole no Pepsi in the South? The tagline used to be born in the Carolinas.
No,
We
I
got
thought they were
Pepsi.
based in Connecticut.
Yeah, I mean, and then upstate New York and Connecticut. I mean,
that's all you get.
Yeah, and Westchester County is where the
PepsiCo headquarters
right across the street from SUNY Purchase.
The cans always used to have the tagline, the taste born in the Carolinas.
I never heard this
can't
before in
drink
my
it. It's
life.
like syrup.
I always thought,
and Coke being out of Atlanta always had the whole South.
yeah, like growing up,
Yeah.
Coke was always what was served, and like when I came north, I was surprised how many
You were
people
shocked.
preferred Pepsi.
Yeah. And then you go here and there's a lot of Pepsi only restaurants. You're like,
Now,
can I have
does
a
it
Coke?
vary?
Pepsi, okay? What?
Mm-mm.
Does it vary from north to south? Like down here, the Pepsi is so damn sweet, I can't drink it. Is it the same up there?
I don't know.
No,
You know,
I
we're
think
all
it's got to be
adults now.
all in the same, as
Yeah.
far as in the country. Because I know, like, let's say you get that, like, Mexican Coke,
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
And And that has the real cane sugar, so that tastes different.
Trump says he's getting rid of that.
No!
He says if they can throw a fucking Coke over a wall, then you can drink it. He doesn't even bring up the wall anymore now that he thinks he might win. He's like, I don't know how I could build a fucking wall that long. That's crazy. What was I talking about? I was high as fuck that
The whole
day.
thing sounds kind of racist.
I don't know if anybody could vote for that man. He's Canadian, If he wants to run for prime minister, go ahead and do it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him, but he should be torn apart by dogs.
Sounds like you don't like him, though.
Look at Bernie Sanders. He got fucking lost in the mall the other day, and they had to put out a silver alert. Is that dude fucking running? I haven't seen him in this entire... When you find out that there's still people running as Republicans, it's shocking, because it feels like it's Trump, and then, Cruz and Rubio are also there.
Even Jeb has just, completely been pushed aside.
Jeb is something like 4%.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
He's doing terribly.
Yeah.
His heart was never in it.
He actually had a thing that he had a tortoise pin, and he was like, this is our motto, slow and steady. And you're like, dude, let me tell you something. It's great that you like a little cartoon and a fable, but a tortoise never fucking wins against anyone. Forget running against a rabbit. This fucker couldn't go up against a caterpillar. Tortoise don't move. A tortoise could barely beat an ottoman. Stop acting like it's a fucking good thing to be a tortoise.
What a lazy, shitty animal.
Hey, Pete, how's things at Horace and Pete's?
Hey, Benson. I worked for Coke right out of high school, Coca-Cola, and part of the training, they informed us that when a waiter or waitress asks you, is Pepsi okay, they're required to, by law. The Coke actually wrote it into legislation that if someone asks for Coke, you have to tell them that they're not going to get Coke, and is that okay? Because Coke doesn't want someone drinking Pepsi thinking it's Coke.
Well, here's the other problem that they had. People down south would call all soda products Cokes.
Right.
So they were like fucking lunatics down there.
Yep.
They called a milk a Coke.
What kind of Coke you want? Milk Coke, I guess?
Go out to the cow and pull some Coke out of its tits. I don't know if I was doing a southern accent. Came on so fast.
It's kind of a southern Philly combo.
That sounds delicious.
Coke.
That sounds delicious. This southern Philly combo is out of this world. You put grits in my hoagie. Well, you got a hoagie in my grits. I like it.
Wait a second. Hoagie grits?
Hoagie grits. Coming soon. Yeah, so that was always a problem for them. But Coke is Trump. You know what I mean? And fucking Pepsi is Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
You can't get around that. It's our good friend Janice in Chicago.
Hello, my friend.
Hey.
Hi, Janice.
Hi, honey. I know. Is Donald Trump's middle name Adolf?
All right. Sis. You always go back to the Hitler thing.
But he's so vile.
What don't you like about him?
Everything. Hey,
He's going to build a wall around Chicago, so we'll never have to see you people again.
And he's going to make you pay for it.
Yeah.
Just to me, he's every kind of ist,
You know what I'd like to see him do is just run that wall down against Mexico and then up through the country and make it like a maze to get.
Just make it fun, something nice for the kids.
So if you're driving from New York to LA, you're like, fuck, we can't get out of this. We're stuck in Ohio. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're out of Ohio now. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do if he wins? Who are you voting for, Janice? You got somebody?
Well, I'm always a Democrat, but I'm not sure.
Why don't you vote for Clinton with a K?
I don't know what to do, actually. I like Hillary, but I think she's got so much baggage that people just... they're still taking her, tearing her up about Benghazi and all that bullshit.
Yeah. You make Benghazi seems like it's right outside of Chicago. You take the highway down to Benghazi.
And the Republicans say too, it's like, we're really still fighting about fucking abortion? Are you kidding?
Yeah, we're never going to drop the abortion thing, are we? And then, but here's the funny thing: they bring it up, but they never do anything. Like they had Bush for 8 years; he didn't once try to make a run at abortion. And now I see fucking what's his name bring it up, the Chris Christie, where he's like, thousands of innocent people are murdered every day with an abortion. And I'm like, then why were you at the Springsteen show? You would think if thousands of people were being murdered because of something, you would be like, people, hey, you going to go see Springsteen? I can't! There's multiple murders happening every second! No, you wouldn't be fucking fist pumping at a Springsteen show. You would be a fucking insane person. So I don't think any of them believe it. They just like to say it.
And I always like to ask, so how many foster children do you take care of? And in this day and age, it actually amazes me because there's so many things that for unwanted pregnancy, you know, you don't have to get pregnant now because there's so many, the day after pill, all that stuff, you know, I don't.
Yeah, well, we're trying to get rid of Planned Parenthood, so you'll never get your paws on that.
It surprises me that anybody has an unwanted pregnancy anymore.
Well, you know who does? The little girls. They don't know all that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's confusing.
Thank you, honey. Talk to you later.
Love you guys.
She just got political on us.
I know. I didn't know. Janice was so political.
She is, you know. Well, you know what? Chicago is one of our most political places ever. You know, that started that was back in the old days is where the real vote would come from. You know who was a foster child was, and a lot of people don't know this. Mm-hmm. Stephen Foster,
really?
Guy who wrote Stony River. Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
well, that makes sense. The whole Foster thing, but it's just a coincidence, or?
Well, no, I don't know. I think they were just called children. You know, like I'm taking in a child, and like Stephen Foster is like way down the Swanee River. And then he threw in a couple of, you know, racist things.
Sure.
He was like,
darkies, how my heart grows weary.
He was like a gangster rap back in his fucking day.
Edgy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, you were just called a child. And then they're like, oh, so you're like a foster child.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. I don't play the piano box, but yeah. Hey, we got to take a break here. We're never going to hear it from Joe. Joe, how you like being in that spot?
Love it.
And we might keep it this way because the flu room over there.
Keep him quarantined.
Yeah.
Gonna see the doctor tomorrow. Figure this all out. And then again Thursday.
I'm sure he's going to tell you you have the Planet of the Apes disease.
Oh, Jesus. This whole thing's
like
coming down.
Slowly turning into an ape. What are you going to tell him about?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to see my general doctor. I'm going to tell him my
general doctor. Talk about a hillbilly.
That my hand is falling asleep constantly, and I have the flu, and I need help. And then I'm going to go see the orthopedic doctor and tell him just about the hand. Like, hey, bro, I'm starting to get some weird shit happening on the left side of my right hand.
So this is a week of pill shopping for you.
I'm not pill shopping. I'm health shopping.
And you think the only thing that can help you is barbiturates.
Chris, let's not go down that road again.
I'm just
down upon the Swanee River. You had to sing that in school?
Yes, it was. So when I was
state song.
Yes, it was the state song of Florida, and we were told that we had to sing it in front of the whole school. My class had to sing it in front of the school, and my friend, who was like my little elementary school boyfriend, he said to the teacher, like, I don't want to sing. Oh, darkies, how my heart grows weary. So she was arguing with us why we should sing it because it's, you know, it's historically, it's tradition. And if you deny history, so every time we were practicing singing it, it would come down to the part where he would have to sing that and he would say, "Oh, darkies, how my heart," like really nailing it home.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You know what? Do not do that when you're on stage in front of the whole school." So the next day the principal came over and she said, "So we found out what you guys are going to be singing and we think that maybe we should just take out that part. And instead, you're going to say, 'Oh, Sadie, how my heart grows weary.'" And everyone was like, "Who's Sadie? Why are we singing?"
It's a black woman.
Why are we singing Sadie? And my teacher, by the way, was furious. She was mad that the principal stepped in and said we had to sing "Oh, Sadie." She was very upset. So then it came to the day where in front of the whole school, and he gets up there and it comes around to the chorus and he says, "Oh, Sadie, how my heart," like really hard, and everyone was laughing.
Sure. Anytime you can fuck with the man. Yeah.
On her face. God damn it. But that's tradition. That's Florida.
It
Oh,
is
darkies.
It is a good tune, but you know how like your grandchildren might, when you say like African American, they might be like, "Ugh, how dare you say such a thing? You're disgusting."
You don't still say that, do you?
Even if that you ever saw it, say it. Like if someone, there was a time that when you said colored, it meant that you were being respectful.
Right.
You were being extra respectful. And now if someone says colored, you're like, "How dare you, you son of a bitch."
You're sick.
You know, like the NAACP. No, it isn't. You're saying that you basically are a slave owner.
I don't even know if that's still their song. I know every year, you know, there would be a group who would say, "Hey, we should probably switch this up to something that, Margaritaville."
Well, the funny thing about that river, it's not even like a popular river. No one ever brings it up for any reason.
No, no one's really.
Crystal River has more heat than that river.
Definitely.
Just fucking gator infested.
Why not sing about Lake Okeechobee?
Okeechobee whiskey. Best song in the whole world. All right, we got a break. We'll be right back. Bennington. Yeah, buddy, this is the Bennington Show. Saturday, we do GPS Memphis. That should be exciting.
This Saturday, February 6th, 3 p.m. on Deep Tracks, Channel 27. GPS Memphis.
Oh, yo, my friends. What's that?
I don't know that little vocal thing that they do.
Does it even have a name?
I don't know. It's like that rockabilly vocal. Yeah. Like Buddy Holly does it. Yeah. I don't know what you would call it, but it's a very good thing, and I don't know why they all started doing it.
And it
you hear somebody do it, it's got to come from something country-ish.
Sure. Yeah, it's got to be that hillbilly thing.
Yeah.
And then it got completely dropped in rock and roll until Billy Idol. Billy Idol brought it back. Billy Idol was like the rockabilly punk glam metal guy.
Yeah, and like the Cramps, the lead singer of the Cramps did a lot, but they have that rockabilly sound. Yeah. But I would guess that it has to do something from country music or bluegrass music, because it kind of seems like the beginning of a yodel. Like it's that same thing that you would start a yodel with.
Like the old country and western. It's more western than country, which kind of got dropped out of country music, the country and western. If you go back like the early part of like 30s and 40s, there was a hell of a lot of cowboy songs that we don't do anymore.
Yeah, that country music kind of just started to be generally...
We're just country.
Yeah.
And we're trying to brand Chevrolet as best as we can.
Oh, yeah, we'll still keep the hats.
Oh, boy, there's that virus that's going everywhere.
Oh, really scary.
Yeah, I think Stanley had it. He was putting mosquitoes on his balls last night.
Zika? Is that what it is? Zika?
I just watched him come in here using the door handles.
What? Chris, you touched that door handle? I touched that door handle.
I Purelled.
No, you didn't.
His balls.
Ew.
You're obsessed with his balls, dude. Obsessed.
I do talk about him a lot, don't I?
I just wish he wouldn't talk about them because it's fucking nonstop.
There was a lot of people that said that the nerd in Greece last night looked like Joey Joe. You know the guy I'm talking about?
Sounds like a pretty good
Eugene
looking guy.
Felsnick? Yeah.
Eugene. You were Eugene from that.
How did he dance, though?
He did all right for himself. There he is.
Yeah, that looks like you, dude. Glasses, hipster, tiny weirdo.
Handsome man right there.
I didn't say he wasn't handsome. I mean, if in prison, you'd get fucked before anybody.
Thank you.
Certainly before
Definitely.
Gorilla Stanley Monsoon. Actually, you look good in that picture.
Thank you.
Really makes me want to think about managing your career, in the squared circle.
If I get on the circuit. Get out of these territories, get to the show.
Oh, no, you need to spend a lot of time in the territories. Here's a fashion thing that people are now bringing up. It's the man braid. And it's so stupid to me that men let themselves get into hating hair. I mean, once we accepted the mohawk, fuck it. It's all go.
Listen, braids are great. I don't know why anyone's if the trend is for men to have long hair, it's only natural that you would then go, you know what? Let's throw a braid in this
But
thing.
they're braiding it all on the top. It's not going down the side.
Right, but at
Do
the
women
top,
do that?
Yeah, that's like cornrows. Like cornrowing, you start from the top here.
But this is thicker than cornrows.
Right, so this is like a thick set cornrow style braid.
You know what? This could be the perfect way for a new comb over, because you braid the sides and you bring them up over the top. You're like, I braid my shit. I know a guy who hid the fact that he was balding by acting like he was in a Jamaican band. And I'm like, I go, hey, why don't you ever just let that hair down? He goes, no, I want to. I go, let it down for a second. He goes, no, I'm not going to. I go, you're fucking bald, aren't you? And he goes, not on the sides, I'm not. So he had it all wrapped around crazy and up. And then when his first haircut, he just shaved it all the way down.
Oh yeah, you have to go full on then.
Yeah, what are you going to do? It's just a fucking... These are dead cells that are pushing out of your skull. I don't know why we make such a big deal out of them.
Yeah, and also just have fun with it. Just be expressive with your hair.
Do you?
I think it looks cool.
Look who tried to turn into your boots fucking...
I know, he's good. He's
You're gonna
so
be
good.
my next...
Not that, you're...
You know.
Oh.
When you just start going, do you?
Do you?
That's why you're I call you the next boot buddy.
Oh, what?
Butt buddy is more like it. You're definitely interested in giving up
Now,
this.
Chris, I can't believe with all this man bun and now man braid, you used to have long, beautiful hair. You could have been at the forefront of this whole
you could
thing.
be doing everything.
I never thought about doing that man bun thing.
Did you braid your hair?
No, I never braided
You
my
know
hair.
why? Because his hair was so easy to take care of. It was long and beautiful that he didn't have to think like, oh, I got to put my hair up. The weird thing about him, his hair is greasier now that it's short than it ever was when it was long.
Oh, yeah, because the sweat just pools on my head and it just gets so fucking greasy.
Let's stop getting haircuts for you, all right? Can we get you to make a commitment today?
Yeah, let's
make a 2-year commitment.
No, it's too long. I think I maybe go a little bit longer to get that Mumford & Son look back, though.
Why don't you go 1 year, you're not going to cut anything? What is it with you and the cutting of the hair?
I got to cut the hair these days.
Why?
It just grew. I didn't cut my hair for like 7 or 8 years, so now I have to go the opposite
what we're
way.
talking about. We're going, you've already done this.
Yeah.
We got it. We see short hair Chris. He's unappealing. He's not fun. Why don't
He's
you
a
now
drunk.
go in the other direction?
Bring the wild man back.
Yeah, wear a do-rag on top. I mean, I'm not saying you can't stay nuts, but you gotta lay it down.
Get a little length on it, you think?
Yes,
damn,
that's
now you
literally what we're saying.
You mean not put scissors up next to my hair? Yes, that's what we're fucking
That's
saying.
what we're talking about. Bring the wild man back. Get wild.
I'm still wild?
No, you're not.
You're just depressing now.
Oh, that's...
People
Like
are
that guy was
depressed with you.
cool. Like
That's shitty. I don't want to depress people.
cool guy.
You know what? It's Super Bowl, okay? You have to make a super fucking adjustment this week. It doesn't feel like a Super Bowl week. Like people aren't that excited.
Not at all. I remember last year was like 2 weeks of like just fucking building and craziness.
Well, they even said that the tickets aren't going for as much. First of all, no one seems to. Denver never brings out the fucking heat. Their people don't travel.
So shitty of them. This is shitty fans.
Well, maybe they don't have as much money as the Boston fans. Boston fans travel everywhere. Green Bay fans actually travel everywhere. But there's something about Denver. They didn't show up in New York. They were like, seriously, Seattle was the whole entire stadium.
Why weren't they showing up? No support?
I don't know. Maybe they're a bunch of broke dick fuckers. I don't know what's happening out there. Maybe they ain't got the money. But you got 2 weeks. Take a camper and sleep in the parking lot.
I mean, didn't you guys see this coming? Come on, you could have taken the appropriate time off and get some tickets for yourselves.
I don't know, but there's already a thing that the ticket scalpers are losing big money.
Yeah, as soon as the Patriots got knocked out, they just
Here's
dropped.
the problem. If you go to the Super Bowl, you miss the Super Bowl party with your friends. That has become the thing, is that Thanksgiving feeling.
I'd much rather go to the Super Bowl party than go to the game.
Well, also, we live in a post 9/11, pre 8/13 world where people takes hours to get into the parking lot, then hours to get into the stadium, and then you're being watched the whole time, and it doesn't feel that comfortable for people.
No thanks. I'll be having my chicken parm at home.
This isn't who you... The chicken parm man.
I'm so excited.
Hey, the chicken parm man.
I'm so fucking
Are we
excited.
doing sliders or we're just doing
You can have a fucking smaller one if you want. I'm doing a major fucking chicken parm sandwich.
Why did you
on a roll?
Why did you throw up my idea of the chicken parm sliders?
Sliders are too small for me.
I hate sliders.
You can have multiple
You're not
sliders.
coming, Chris. You're left out of this.
I just throw it out there, though.
Yeah, I don't care what you think. We never sit around and plan things and go, I wonder if Stanley would like this.
Oh, no, Chris doesn't like sliders. We can't.
Yeah.
Take that off the menu.
If you were coming over, I had a bowl full of pills and a fucking shotgun, so that when your team's losing, you can blow your brains out. All right, Joey, I'm not saying who you think is going to win, right?
Okay.
But you got Cam Newton setting up kind of the new QB. This could be the new era. And then you're letting go of the old guy, Peyton Manning, a guy who never won a lot, and he would get to leave a winner. So this is the two storylines.
Yeah.
It's about these QBs. Which story would you rather see happen?
Oh, man, I know. I'd rather see Peyton walk out a winner.
I'm surprised by that because you're normally my, new on the ground thing. Now, Chris, you're not making your pick, but what story would you rather see?
I like to see Cam Newton dabble all over the place and show the future of the NFL.
Do we know the way he's betting?
Now, here's the thing. The Panthers were they had the better season.
Well, record-wise, but they didn't have the same schedule.
Right.
They fucking basically played nobody.
Right.
All year.
Now, Carolina...
And lost to a bad team.
Carolina has not had the Super Bowl history that Denver has had.
No, absolutely not. They've been to one Super Bowl. They lost that Super Bowl.
Okay, so for me, the storyline, I would have to say Carolina because I think that that's also part of the passing the torch thing.
It would very much be,
when you duck out and say, young folks.
And even though it would be great to see Peyton win, there's, the shot of him walking off, limping off as and his career ends. That heartbreaking, what I like to call the Y.A. Tittle bloody fucking face shot. That's a good one. All right, let me go over to Vito.
I want Peyton to win because I like the story of I'm done, I'm retired, and I don't want to see him come back another year. And
he's not going to come back.
Life.
It ain't going to happen. Win, lose, or draw, this fucking guy is done. There's no doubt about it. And obviously, he's given enough to the sport that you could see him leave. But it's funny, my two dark hearts, that, I would expect my millennials, my founders, to be jumping into the dab thing and all that. And yet they're the traditionalists. They'd like to see this guy tie Eli. And both brothers would each have 2.
Right.
Well, then the third brother has 0. And some kind of
some sort of scoliosis thing.
Yeah. Bad disease.
But instead, me and Chris are the ones who are dabbing it up.
Yep.
What do you think is the better storyline?
There's no doubt in my mind that Peyton is the story. that if you turn around and look at that boy, he's got another 15 years to win.
Right.
You know what I mean? This was the first year that people were finally like, okay, this kid has come into the zone. He's going to win the MVP. He's a terrific player, a new kind of quarterback. I'd rather see him win it when he's all hurt and beat up and thinking about leaving.
He's a broken down piece of meat.
Yeah, that's what I like. I'd like to see Peyton win it. I really would. And I don't think I've ever rooted for Peyton in one game in my life. But this is the way to send off that guy who's been a great, competitor, been a big part of our football lives for, over 20 years when you go back to Tennessee. Because that kid was famous at 18 years old. He was famous at 18 fucking years old.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like literally nationally famous. And I never even liked the Broncos. There's something about them that always annoyed me. What is this, like their 7th or 8th?
This will be their 8th Super Bowl appearance.
All right, now you got to put it this way. Since the beginning of the Super Bowl, they've been in 16% of the fucking Super Bowls. 16%. That's amazing.
That's crazy.
And no one ever thinks of them as one of the great organizations.
No.
If you were coming up with the great organizations, you're going to put Pittsburgh before them.
I put the Raiders before them, like if I was making the list.
Cowboys, Raiders, might even put the Giants before them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they almost feel like second tier because they've lost so many. Because out of those 7 that they've been to, they only won 2. And when they lose, they get blown out. I mean, just fucking gut it. Even the last one that they lost, that was a fucking embarrassment.
From snap 1. But yeah, Buffalo fans are always crying about losing so many in a row, but they've lost 6 out of they've lost 5 out of 7. The Broncos fans, they should get a guy in documentary made about them.
Well, they got 2 in a row when in the late 90s, or they definitely would have been, an embarrassing situation. But it's weird when you're out in the Rocky Mountains. I mean, anywhere. You could be 1,000 miles away, and there's Bronco things. You're in fucking North Dakota. They root for the Broncos. But it's still not a lot of people because, there's only like 18, 20 people in North Dakota. There's another 32 in South Dakota. I think Wyoming has 47. So, I mean, yeah, it starts to build, but it takes a while. Even people in Western Washington will vote for them over Seattle because they've been around longer.
Bad fans, though.
Okay, we're having judgmental fans.
You go with the Seahawks, Western Washington. Come on.
How many prop bets are you doing besides your straight up bet?
I'm looking at like 5 or 6 more also prop bets.
And you're going to go in the same amount of money as you do the others. So you're going to bet a prop bet for the same thing that you're betting straight up.
Yeah. I'm looking at coin flips. I'm looking at first touchdowns. I'm not giving them all away. I'm still combing through them, seeing what I want, see what I like, see what kind of action I want,
If you go 6 for 6 that day. I had a thing by Eastside Dave, whose entire act you stole right down to the dogsy. And he tells me I think he said he's 17-0.
Yeah, he hasn't picked nothing. He's picked nothing wrong.
The entire postseason.
That's
Holy
insane.
shit. That's crazy.
And I'm 0-17. I haven't picked one thing right.
Do you have Roy Schaefer's number?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to give him a call.
Okay.
I got some ideas. I don't want to go directly through Dave. How confused that can get. But Roy's a steady head, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very much so.
So that this is Super Bowl week. We got to get up in a super excited thing. Of course, we're going to have the list of the way all the big comedians are gambling and betting and hoping. You would be shocked if you know how many fucking comedians don't know sports at all.
It's crazy to me.
I said to one time, I'm not going to say who it was. I go, you want to put in a bet because we're putting up audio of all the comedians and how they're, who they're picking. And he's like, Now, is that the game with the basket that they throw it in the basket? And I go, how do you not have heard of basketball? And he goes, oh, that makes sense. So it's the one where they're just kicking the ball around with their feet. I go, no, that's soccer. And he goes, so then I don't know who I want. The blue team, I guess.
Fine.
They don't know football.
It's interesting. You would think that there would be more comedians who were football fans.
I wouldn't know what to do with my life if you didn't just have sports. You know what I mean? And I'm not one of those guys who sits around and thinks and cares about sports all the time. But when you have nothing to do, you put on a baseball game or you put on a basketball game. How could you right now, and I'll never act like, oh, that's my Golden State Warriors, but how do you not watch that team that's doing something at such a peak and not enjoy it? I just don't understand that thinking.
Yeah, I mean, the event of it is fun. Discussing it with other people. You can always go to it in conversation.
Last night, right? Everybody liked Grease. Even though you know that fucking story and you know the song. So it isn't, you could have put Grease on any time. The fact that it was a live event, they were trying to basically go, what does sports do? And we'll bring it to TV. And I watched the first thing. I thought it was Pink. It wasn't. It was, I think, Jimmy JJ is her name. And I feel nothing for the Grease soundtrack. And I'm like, well, this is pretty fucking great. You know, this chick could make a lot of mistakes here. I mean, you're basically watching her run through all these rooms while she's singing, inside, outside. And you're like, well, they've brought an excitement to TV.
Yeah. And with sports, anytime that there is some sort of event, particularly when it's like a worldwide event, like I love following the Olympics, I love the World Cup, because I love the idea of an entire planet
caring about something.
Yeah, exactly, and being invested. And then there's a million storylines within those things that you could get into. But it's the event about it.
Well, here's the thing with spouts, and that's when a spout was a spout. And grooving was grooving. And dancing meant everything. And we were young, but we were improving. Laughing with my friends. By the way, the hit that you just took off that thing is like you had never drank before. I just watched him guzzling water as I'm trying to do a show. It's like he just came in from the farm. He just came in from the farm.
Top day, Pop. Reckon Ryan later.
And he's taking a drink. His elbow was pointing right at the ceiling.
I was dabbing. He was dabbing while I was taking a dip.
So we're pretty. I know. I feel like he just drank all the water. And there's none for me.
It's great, right?
Is there any left?
Too bad. I'll talk to Don. Maybe we can get a trough in here. We can just go over.
Get a nice trough, Pop.
What is this accent you're doing?
It's like a middle America type 1930s farmer.
No, it is not.
That was Australian, but let me hear it.
What are you talking about, Gail? I need to get water.
Now do your real thing that you were doing.
I need to plow the land, Pop.
No, dude. That's fucking Australian.
What are you talking about?
It's kind of Australian.
1930s Australian Dust Bowl. That's my impression.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck goes on in your brain. You know, you moved into the big room. Stanley's staying in there. His fucking shirt
sweatbox
is just wide open now.
Yeah.
It's too hot in here. I'm fucking sweating bullets. I feel disgusting.
Dude, you shouldn't come to fucking work when you have typhoid fever. Okay?
Yeah.
Should you have maybe stayed home?
I felt like, look, it's the beginning of something, but I'm battling it, and I'm going to see a doctor.
Don't battle it. Just fucking stay home. You're useless here. You steal material.
Don't steal. Parallel thinking.
It isn't parallel.
No.
They did it first. Parallel would be me and you did it at the same time. But if I did it 5 years ago and then you stole it, you can't call that fucking parallel thinking.
Like, I love
Wedding Crashers came out in 2004. How's that parallel?
And I love that scene, too.
You're stealing Sack Lunch's whole thing. Everything about it.
I hate Sack Lunch.
And you love Stewie, so that was probably also an influence.
All right, I want to ask you guys, I don't like to get overly political because I know people do this, but it's time to judge Ted Cruz. And I believe TR sent this to me. If he didn't, he says there's a lot of badass shit. He's West Coast, but he's He's just. Oh no, you sent it, Gail.
Yes, I sent it.
All right. Well, you're badass too. So why don't you set the table with this?
So this is Ted Cruz is on the campaign trail, and he's in the middle of in an event. And, you bring the family along because you want to look like a family man. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole point. That's the whole point of having the wife and kids there so you can look like this wholesome, well-rounded guy. And as you remember, he also tried to do one of those videos, and we saw and it seemed a little forced initially. So here is Ted Cruz on the campaign trail in an interaction with his young daughter.
Do you think you can win here, Ted? Are you taking off? Come on.
Yeah, they're going with me.
Hey, let's hop out of my street. We're taking her. She's good jump. Good jump. Ready, Bob?
She's, first of all, trying to flick him away from her face. And then when he attempts to embrace her, she is just completely like arching her back and trying to get away from him and just looks disgusted by his presence.
I want to see this again.
Yeah, they're going with me.
Hey, let's hop out of my street. We're taking her.
She's hitting as well.
Good jump. Good jump.
I'm pulling away from his kiss. Now, and I'm not making any accusations, but if I was her teacher, I would take her down to the principal's office and we would ask some questions. I mean, there's no way that a 7-year-old girl should be that physically repulsed by her own father.
And what makes you uncomfortable? What about the touch makes you uncomfortable?
I'm going to show you a doll right now.
She is repulsed by his touch. It's insane. It's really funny, though.
Now, how old is that kid?
It's very hard to tell because she seems like she's too old to be carried, and yet somebody's holding her on her hip. She's definitely small, but I don't know. My guess would be like between 7 and 8. You think I'm close there?
The only way that I would give any benefit to Ted Cruz, if she was one of those autistic kids that doesn't like to be touched, I'm like, oh, okay. But then he shouldn't be forcing anyway. Well, no means no. With a hug or whatever, let the kid go. She's uncomfortable.
She's 8 years old.
By the way, you see his face as he realizes people are seeing him fail with his child.
Right.
Like, it's very uncomfortable.
This costs points. This costs fucking points.
It's a very uncomfortable moment.
Now, someone else put up another picture where his wife was pulling away when he tried to kiss. I think she barely knows her dad and probably resents the fact that their life is so, out of whack right now, why they do that. And I mean, the guy's probably always at work. You know what I mean?
That could be it. She seems like she doesn't. Well, I mean, we saw in that one video when they were sitting on the bed together, they look like strangers. She could be younger than I realized, but that sassiness made her seem older. Because if she's being held on his hip.
Yeah. I would say she's about 8. What do you think?
I was thinking about 7, so that would be in the same.
She's 8 years old.
No one's asked you to break it right now.
Oh, okay.
Chris, we're having a discussion. But did you ever feel this way about anyone in your family?
No, I loved all of them.
Yeah.
Well, I know that thing when you have distant relatives who are too affectionate and it feels uncomfortable. Like the way they show affection with their family is different than you do. So there'll be relatives who are like, hey, we're like a kiss on the mouth, uncle. I'm like, yeah, we don't really do that. And I don't really want to do that. And then you try like to kind of slither away or like just wriggle out of it. But yeah, with your own dad, I mean, she was looking like, who is this weird guy?
She didn't want him close, let alone even before the kiss. She was flicking his nose.
And she's hitting him. She also hits him away. And then, yeah, he just keeps pushing it.
But she's perfectly fine with this stranger who's carrying her.
I don't know who this man is, but, you know, she's definitely comfortable with him. This is just like one of his campaign managers.
I think what's funny, too, is like, by the time your kid is this old, you know what your kid is comfortable with and not comfortable with. He should have pulled away at the flick. You know what I mean? The fact that he tried to look everyone, I kissed my daughter, meant that he doesn't really know her and the way she reacts.
Yeah, he had no understanding. I can't believe he kept pushing in.
No.
And then that look on his face when he's like, everyone saw that.
Cruz cannot be fucking president.
No.
He can't be. This is the way the voters are going to react to
How's
him.
he going to handle Putin then?
No.
Yeah, his kisses are like nails.
You can't go up and just start kissing. He's got a nail
Putin's going to start flicking in his face.
This little girl acts like someone's trying to urinate on her, not give her a
Oh, she is
kiss.
just completely disgusted.
She's like, I'd rather be urinated on.
The hitting.
She has her iPad out.
Yeah.
Maybe she wants to play that instead, Dad.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
literally
normally,
anything.
Even if your parent is saying you're leaving, honey, and let me give you a kiss. This is a normal thing that the man asked for. What's abnormal is the past history between this whole family. And the fact that he's rocking fucking David Bowie's Black Star thing on his side of his van. This is for Bowie.
Parallel thinking, I think, between him and Bowie.
He ended a speech, the other night was something like, "May the power of risen Jesus Christ." You're like, dude, you're running for fucking president. I understand you're trying to get these votes, but this shit travels.
I was in a cab, and for whatever reason, my cab driver wanted to talk politics, and he was Ted Cruz man. And for some reason now, every time I see Ted Cruz, I think of this cab driver saying, "I think Ted Cruz is brilliant. He's brilliant." I'm like, he's not brilliant. He's not brilliant at all. He's brilliant.
You gotta try to find the same
Ted Cruz, he's brilliant.
Show him with his daughter.
Exactly.
He's too dumb to know what his
it's literally
daughter's
the
into.
first thing I thought is I'd love to show this to this cab driver as I'm trying to explain to him how Trump is so exciting. He has no excitement factor.
What is it, Joe? You're just sitting there acting weird.
Oh, well, we have 2 guests coming up.
Why would I can't have you in this room? Why would you think that you stop being a person and that you're the pilot of the worst flight in history?
Well, Ron, it looks like there's some guests coming up on our 6. And
Hey, please keep your seatbelts in. We might experience some unexpected guests.
What would you keep? What do we keep it on seatbelts in? You crazy fuck!
You can move about the cabin.
You seriously? I felt like Ted Cruz leaned over and tried to kiss Michelle.
Why are you so cruisy? Why are you so cruisy today, Joe?
He looks like an angry bird.
What is it that you're trying to say? But say it as a person.
We have 2 guests coming up today. We have.
We know today.
We have 2 guests coming up. Today,
Ron Thursday. We have guests.
Some bookings were made.
2 wonderful comedians.
Stop! I can't fucking. What is he trying to tell me?
We have guests. Mr. Mike Racine, our buddy, and his podcasting partner and fellow comedian Tim Dillon have just signed in. Their new podcast is Stewed. That's available on iTunes.
Say something.
This is no better.
You dope. You're telling the audience that someone has signed in.
They'll be here shortly. We should probably break first.
What does he mean by that?
I'm going to break. Try to scream at one person in the room while the other person's behind glass. We'll be right back with some comics. It's the Bennington Show. Yeah, buddies, welcome back to the Bennington Show. Coming up next Tuesday, this will be the last announcement because these tickets are really... We are doing Unmasked with TJ Miller, and then later on that night, I'm going over with Voss and Bonnie to host their show, My Wife Hates Me.
My Wife Hates Me Valentine's Day special hosted by Ron Bennington, happening Tuesday, February 9th at 8 p.m. Doors at 7 p.m.
You know, I'm starting to feel like you are saying my last name the same way Chris says it more and more.
No, that's
you
impossible.
Just called me Bennington.
No, I did not. I did not say Bennington. It's my last name.
Yeah.
I'm well versed in the pronunciation.
Mike Racine is here. Good to see you, Mike.
Thanks, you too.
And you wanted to cover up some of the uncomfortable Mike Racine moments that you have on the show. So who did you bring with you today?
My buddy Tim Dillon.
It's good to be here to defend Mike and to apologize.
Yeah. Well, normally
what are you talking about?
Tim's role will be what Mike meant to say was this.
Right.
And, normally, but hey, don't take that the wrong way.
Right.
This is what Mike meant to say. Good to see you. Now, you guys do a podcast together.
Yeah.
We do.
It's called Stewed.
Stewed.
Yeah, it's a food podcast. We talk about eating. And,
restaurants. Food-related issues.
Yeah.
Do you know they said that the number one cook in the world, this Swiss French guy,
died,
killed himself.
Yeah.
He killed himself at like 43 years old. Somebody sent back an app, and he couldn't. Somebody sent back an app. He's got 3 Michelin stars, which is, if you get 1, that's crazy. You got 3. But somebody like 2 weeks ago said this fork's a little dirty, and he's like, I can't fucking take it anymore.
That's why I never
killed
sent anything
himself.
back.
Now, the food that you guys, when you review restaurants, high end or
everything,
comfort food?
We do a little bit of both. Also, some kid killed himself at an open mic, I think, this week.
Yeah,
he
stabbed himself
to death on stage.
As his closer.
He stole that fucking bit. Because I'm telling you, you did that years ago. Now, where did this take place at?
Oregon.
I think Oregon, yeah.
So a kid, he's on stage, and I guess I'm saying he's not doing well.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Something happened beforehand, definitely.
Yeah, probably not great, said.
Because when you said a comedian killed himself, I go, they finally got to Amy Schumer. I thought she was battling back against this. I'm sorry, you guys are New York comics, so you don't want to actually join in that at all. Hey, she hires. So, but this kid, what now, do we got any of the facts of this? Do we know what else was going wrong besides a bad set?
Yeah, it could not be set and set alone related.
It's rough to stab yourself too. That's a real.
That's a hard way.
That's a very theatrical way. It's almost like Grow Up, you know.
Well,
and do it like in an efficient.
Do it like a man.
Manner.
Yeah. It's not. Well, you can't get the angle. I mean, it's so much easier to stab someone else that I've learned over the years. Stab them, make them die, and then. But stabbing yourself
is very weird.
I got news for you. We're not saying it in the news, or is this just an urban?
No, this
myth
is
that you guys
real.
heard?
This is on our Facebook. This is real.
Yeah.
But yeah, we review a lot of different restaurants, sandwich shops, high-end steakhouses, pizzerias,
all kinds of stuff.
Where do you guys live?
Astoria.
I'm in Brooklyn.
Now, both have great restaurants.
Yeah.
Astoria, known for Greek, but there's a lot more food going into there now.
Yeah, especially now. There's a lot of like Middle Eastern food happening in Queens, which is cool, depending on the way you feel.
And Middle Eastern food is so close to Greek, it's unbelievable.
It's very close. Yeah. It's like the same, a lot of the same meats, you know. And so that the Queens is the most diverse of all New York City's 5 boroughs. Queens is the most diverse, so they've got everybody.
Yeah, but 90% of it is Korean. Once you
a
get
lot
past
of it's Korean. It's very heavy Korean.
I mean,
it is a heavy Korean.
But once we get past your neighborhood, it's Korean for miles
pretty much
and miles.
Korean. That's correct.
Yeah. But people, you know, when you go into these ethnic restaurants, you just got to throw yourself into it.
Sure.
I hate when people go in like, "What is this? I don't know if I can eat it." Just fucking eat it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stop acting like a baby. Now, what kind of food did you guys grow up on, though?
My family had an Italian restaurant in Jersey for like 30 years. So they sold it the year I was born, but you know, we always did like Sunday dinner.
But there is all old school red sauce Italian.
Yeah.
Not the kind of Italian that they actually eat in Italy.
Probably not.
Right, different.
Because they don't know what red sauce is over there, right?
Well, they do, but it's done differently. It's not, it's a lighter sauce. It's not the heavy Italian
I
American.
think we have a lot more frying in the Italian food. We do a lot of fried stuff, a lot of heavy stuff.
Heavy cheeses
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
like
yeah.
cheese is treated a lot lighter there.
Yeah.
It's certainly in the dishes, but it's not.
When you get to Italy, you don't see 400-pound guys wearing sweatsuits wherever they go.
Right.
You don't see anyone that works either. It's 50% unemployment.
It's nice,
so you
That's
do
nice.
have. It's a different culture. Like nobody's doing anything.
They're
really.
not working, but they have an $800 pair of sunglasses.
Right, right.
I never get that.
Yeah.
I never understand. All right, so this is the guy.
He did it.
On what's the headline?
Unwitting audience clap and cheer as teenager stabs himself to death on stage at open
How are
mic
they
night.
unwitting?
I don't know.
I mean, they're just fucking crude hipsters at that
probably
point.
thought it was part of the show. Or
They
something.
thought it was part of his act.
This guy's good. He's good.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It is a little funny though, like the third or fourth clap when they start to realize that there's a problem.
Yeah.
like that to me is the greatest moment in that.
Yeah.
Like clap number 4, where they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, this isn't part of," you know.
Well, you know what? I remember when the space shuttle blew up, and there were people who were thinking, "Oh, yeah," and they started clapping, thinking they're breaking through into space.
Right, and they didn't
then,
realize.
Yeah, and then some people are screaming, and then they looked around and they started screaming.
Jeez, how did they think that they were breaking through?
They didn't know what they
Right,
you
they
know,
just saw
like 4th of July.
explosion. Okay.
Just 4th of July, you see a beautiful explosion.
Right.
You fuck, whee!
Okay.
You don't think there's a school teacher blowing up right
That's
now.
amazing.
So this kid may be comic of the year.
I think he was a musician. They said he played a song called "Sorry for the Mess" and then he killed himself.
Is that true?
Which is like, you're making a mess.
Yeah.
You know.
This fucking guy.
What a weird like theater kid move.
Yeah.
Sorry for the mess and then stabbing yourself repeatedly.
This story's also from 5 years ago as well.
Is it really?
Really?
Oh, Jesus.
Is it
Christ.
really
From
5 years?
2011.
Jesus Christ.
all right, bye, everybody.
Podcast.
This is
That and more.
This is my last Bennington appearance.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen. George Bush says we are invading Iraq now. So,
No,
hold
wait,
on.
it says 31 January 2016.
Yeah, wait a minute. Why are they talking about it now?
Now
just
is the
realized.
fuck up. You, Chris?
Chris
Is it
Stanley's
you?
trying to destroy me.
April 17, 2011 in this room.
You're at
So-
another.
But it
But
says
look at it.
You're at another.
What are you saying? There's
story.
more than one.
Is it the
open
same
mic?
story or a different one?
The 2011 also says "Sorry for the Mess." Like it's referencing all that.
Again, somebody could have stole this.
This is so weird.
Wait,
the Schumer people just put this out on Facebook to detract from what was going on.
Parallel.
Just got it out there.
stories.
Amy's people are like, all right, get this suicide open mic thing out.
that's weird because it says Sunday, April 17th.
Sorry, we'll just leave quietly.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike Racine, 5 years ago, is going to be in Boston, February 12th at the Gas, and Tim at the Big Hunt in D.C., February 12th and 13th. Check these guys. The Stewed is their podcast. Hey, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having us.
I'm fucking with you guys. I like the angle of coming in with old news. You know what I mean? No
I don't
one else is
understand.
doing
Everybody
I
on
like-
Facebook
It's
was
being
sharing
talked
it.
about
Yeah.
as a current.
that. By you guys.
Yeah.
But I like that you're not rushing to your Facebook page trying to delete this right
Yeah.
now. God damn it.
That's what we do. We just go places with old stories and see how long it takes people to figure out
So
what's
it,
going
Estelle
on.
Getty died. Did you?
At a play last night, it looks like President Lincoln was shot to death.
No!
Yeah. By a single shot Derringer. Did you just yell, how?
How did that happen? Yes,
The Derringer. He just told you the Derringer.
How? That's the.
How?
This is the truth about. If you get any news, you always yell, "What the fuck?"
Oh, yeah.
No matter what happens,
This makes me think I shouldn't just believe things on Facebook. People I don't know
dude.
post.
I think this is good for you guys. It's a whole new angle. No one else is doing.
Nobody else is doing that.
Yeah. See,
news.
this is that uncomfortable scene moment.
What do you want me to do? It's your show.
Well, you're invited in. You bring a 5-year-old nightmare
sorry.
fucking story.
Mike is really just concerned with suicide,
Yeah.
and that's why he wanted to
Oh,
bring
okay.
this to the
Suicidal?
forefront.
Me?
Yeah.
Not for a long time.
When you were
But you
younger,
did it
though.
one
Yeah, when
point?
I was young. Yeah, probably.
What age?
Probably like 9 on.
That's young to,
Yeah, 9
I mean,
is-
normally at 9 you still like candy.
I got bummed out a lot, but then I started doing this podcast, and
This podcast is really life affirming. When we talk about ravioli for an hour once a week, it'll really turn yourself around, you know?
to 4 people.
A lot of people want to die until they hear our Popeyes episode coming out soon. Our podcast is listened to by exclusively suicidal people.
That's nice, though.
Nobody will listen to 45 minutes about, bodega sandwiches if they, were really
They got stuff going on.
high on life.
But I do believe that if you find that one little place that makes a great fucking sandwich, every time I move, if I find that one good little pizza place, wherever it is, or that one good sandwich place, I feel like, I don't know, like I just found gold somewhere.
Yeah.
I believe in that type. A lot of people think that when you talk about food, it should only be the highest end.
No.
Now, you also don't want to do the drive-ins, diners, and dives, where he acts like every place
Everything's
is great.
great. Everything's great.
Yeah.
He always does a thing where he takes a big bite of the sandwich and points to it.
Yeah.
This guy.
You put a hot sauce on bacon, man.
And a lot of the people eating there don't even look happy.
Yeah,
like if you watch them, the people in there look miserable.
Yeah.
And then they have to kind of be like, no, you're on TV, and then they're like, oh, okay, this plate of gravy is pretty good.
Okay.
There
Price is
used
right.
to be the thing of where the truckers eat is the best place, and then Gallagher actually did a line. He says truckers eat where there's the most parking, and I thought it was fucking the truest thing that's ever. If there's a giant parking lot, it's going to fill up with trucks.
Yeah.
No matter what the food is. But what they mean by saying that is the truckers know where local food is all over the country.
Yeah.
And normally you've got to get about 5-10 miles off of any highway to find that spot that's good.
Now, here's something for local food that I think is interesting. And tell me if you guys have discussed this on Stewed. Now, I have lived in New York City since I was a kid. And there is a local sandwich that is here that is apparently a New York specific sandwich that I never heard of until a couple of days ago.
All right.
So it is
It's called
called
a turkey and cheese.
chopped cheese, was it?
Chopped cheese.
Chopped cheese.
Chopped meat.
Chopped meat.
It isn't called
Like
chopped
a
meat.
loose
It's
meat?
cheese.
It's chopped cheese.
No,
yeah.
it's a chopped cheese.
Chopped cheese.
Why are you fucking helping again, Chris?
Just let me say chopped cheese and then go like, yeah, you're right. So it's a chopped cheese. I had never heard of this before, but
It
apparently
looks like a cheesesteak to me.
it's okay. So
Where
it's
do you even get it?
so they say it's mostly Queens, some parts of Brooklyn, some parts of the Bronx. Bodega sandwiches. And
it looks good.
It's similar to.
It looks like a cheesesteak.
Similar to a cheesesteak, but instead of the steak, you're dealing with a ground beef situation.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then that is going to be then chopped with cheese, and then looks like peppers and onions.
Yeah, like
as well.
a samosa. It looks like a weird type.
It's like somebody broke up a hamburger, like a cheeseburger. Go to that actually looks.
It looks good.
See who makes put the top ones, look for top 5.
Sometimes when people write about food, they'll pick the most obscure places that no one's going to go to.
Right.
They'll be like, go here in the Bronx or in Midwood or something.
Here in the South Bronx, there's a great bodega.
Did you go there?
Makes chopped cheese.
Now, have you guys been to Arthur Avenue for Italian food?
Yeah, I've been.
I've never been there, and then for 10 years I'm going like this. I'm going up to Arthur Avenue, and I never make it there because it's far.
I think it's fun. I think you could get better Italian food in Manhattan or Brooklyn or Queens.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about Manhattan Italian food anymore.
I think the great stuff is expensive. Il Mulino, Carbone, like the really good high-end Italian restaurants are expensive. There's a few places in Little Italy that are Il Cortile places that have been there like 50 years. But I think if you go out to Parkside, which is like a mob run joint in Queens, or if you go out to Brooklyn, you're going to find better than you will in Manhattan unless you're willing to spend a lot of money. Got to spend a lot of money in Manhattan to get anything, really.
I make a nice living for myself. So I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you just stand outside over a garbage fire. Maybe they'll see you.
Right.
Are they saying Amy Ruth has this chopped cheese?
Yeah, they're saying
Amy Ruth is great.
I'm not going to go to Amy Ruth for anything but chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Why would I want? What else?
Yeah, there's got to be somewhere else we can go get this chopped cheese.
We got the Brooklyn Star.
Do people actually like chicken and waffles?
I love it.
It's great. It's really
You
good.
eat them all together?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
Feels like it's too much starch.
No.
It's great.
It's just enough starch. I mean, you could literally sit there and go, "This might be killing me, but good." I don't give a fuck.
I made chicken and waffles for New Year's Day. as
How
a New
was
Year's Day celebration. It was so good.
You know
The
what?
spicy
It's the
honey.
best. Honey on chicken is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It makes me wonder, is there other foods it works on?
There's a great chicken parmesan at a place called Quality Italian. They have Calabrian pepper honey. It's like spicy honey, and they put it on the chicken parm. It's great. Really
I feel like
good.
I should be fucking taking notes right now.
Yeah. This is how to die in 5 years.
Mike, how come you never brought up food before?
I don't know. I guess it never came up.
But you had this outside food life.
Yeah.
You kept it so
No,
secret.
we talked about my tomato sauce. That's
the sauce.
doing pretty well.
That tomato sauce of yours, which you make illegally and distribute
It's
illegally.
not that illegally, really, because it's made in a real kitchen.
Yeah, the FDA is cool with the whole thing.
Yeah,
They
they're
come in-
fine.
They come in and they check everything out.
I
and
tweeted
they're
at them.
fine.
They said
They're
it was okay.
fine. Yeah. They're fine with it.
What did you find, Chris? You're waving your hand. Oh, because your hand doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
His, there's something wrong with his hand. You say you got pins and needles in it?
Yeah, pins and needles on the first 3 fingers of my hand, these 3.
What? You're missing a part of your shirt.
I'm sick. And I'm
He's
just
got a Gorilla Monsoon thing going on. Take it off so they can see. This is what he wears under his shirts. He's 1960s Gorilla Monsoon.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. All right, there's that sandwich. Where do they make it around here?
Where is that?
There's one right over here.
Right over here. Where,
By
your
Bryant-
corner?
By Bryant Park.
Okay.
That they have the spicy chopped cheese, but I'm trying to find the one Anthony Bourdain went to in the Bronx right now. I'm just trying to find
I
a
want to
name
see
for
where
it.
he went around. I'd rather eat around here than go to the Bronx. That's not
Yeah.
fucking happening.
I
When
just
I
need
want
to-
a fucking cup crack, I'll go to the Bronx with you. Then I'll risk my life.
Yeah.
But not for a chopped cheese. Remember when Chris tried to call it a chopped meat and he
Yeah.
was fucking wrong?
And then I saw him try to come in with more information, and I didn't even stop. I didn't break my
Smart.
stride because I was like, "No, you don't even know the name of it, Chris. You have no information
There's
for
one
me."
thing that you do well, and that's the plug king. I want you to be plug boy.
I'm going to be a little plug slut. Mike Racine and Tim Dillon are in studio. Mike and Tim's podcast, Stewed, is available now on iTunes. Mike's album, Union Delegate, is available now on iTunes as well. And on Twitter, at Mike Racine and at Tim J. Dillon.
And their gigs, Chris. Their gigs.
Vito did not give me their gig information.
Oh, somebody wrote it on a piece of paper. That's fine.
That's
though.
all right. It doesn't matter.
Well, Mike's going to be in Boston February 12th at the Gas, and then Tim is at the Big Hunt in D.C. February 12th and 13th. You can follow these guys on Twitter, and we'll put that up. Very, very funny young men who have dedicated their lives to all versions of food.
Yes.
Everything
Tell
from
me
the
about it.
cheapest to the most expensive. This is what you do.
Yeah.
This is your life's work.
This is our livelihood.
Yeah.
We're members of the media.
No,
the food
yes.
media.
Yeah. So you can actually come into a place, be taking notes as you're eating it.
Yeah, well, I tried to get, there's this big milkshake now in New York. It's a place called Black Tap, and
I
they're a burger
saw
joint.
this thing,
and
and I don't think I want it.
well, it's like gargantuan. They put like pieces of cake on
candy
top.
and stuff. Yeah,
They put like, it's crazy, right?
I'd rather have a milkshake than
Yeah, it
that.
seems like this is all these other desserts.
No,
like the
this is-
milkshake seems
Yeah, but
like
you know
the
what?
afterthought.
How do you not want that when you see it? You know
It's
what
a
I mean?
$15 shake. You know?
Yeah. And it's a 3.5 hour
Is
wait.
it $15 shake?
It's like $12.
It's bourbon or what?
No?
I don't know if it's worth $15, but it's pretty fucking good.
3.5 hours. 3.5 hour wait.
To get in.
I bought a box of Girl Scout cookies this weekend. And my girlfriend hid them, and then we were in Arizona, and she left them in the hotel. So I think I'm going to destroy something of hers.
You should. You have
Yeah.
every right to. Now, what kind did you have?
Samoas.
Yeah. I like a Samoa.
Not me.
You like a tag-along?
I like thin mint.
Thin mint.
I like a thin mint.
I had you pegged as a tag-along
I
guy.
know you would. I come across that way. But here's the thing. Now, how would you like to be the burger joint that used to be big and everybody's just standing?
Yeah,
Your
nobody
fucking
cares.
customers can't get in.
Yeah.
I'll get a burger to eat outside while I'm waiting for my...
That is the place.
That is the place. So Black Tap is a burger and milkshake spot.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
perfect.
All right.
And they got about a month ago. There was an article that went viral, and now they're just doing crazy business every single day.
Can't you just make your own milkshake that has candy in it?
I mean,
You can say that about any food, though.
you can say that about anything.
Yeah, can't you make a steak at your house?
Yeah.
It's not the same.
People are living in horrible apartments, tenements, dirty, you know what I mean, disgusting. They want to go out and have a milkshake. They want to make one.
You You're outside Starbucks. You don't have a fucking coffee maker at your house? What are you doing here?
What's wrong with you?
You don't
But
have
it
access to a blender?
It is true that you do things much cheaper if you know how to cook and all. Now, we're into the Blue Apron in a big, big way.
Oh, yeah.
Where they send you the food, you make it. It's the same kind of meal that you can come out and have, but it's like $9 instead of 90.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's the same kind of restaurant quality. In fact, I often think that it is better than places like certain specific types of cuisines that they do. I would say, oh my God, I'm making this better than I could get.
But it's not like
my neighborhood.
robotic. You're not just.
No, it doesn't.
What do you mean by robotic?
Well, you don't get to like express yourself. You open the box and you take the stuff out. And
how do you want to express yourself? You want to add something?
Add
to it? Go ahead.
stuff. Yeah.
Who's stopping you? There's not a cop in there with you, Mike.
Yeah. Mike, you can be racist while you're cooking dinner.
I like the idea.
You can express yourself, you know?
I like the idea that you have an allergy to something. You're like, that's what they
You can
asked
say
me
bad
to
things
put
about
in.
immigrants while you stir the Blue Apron.
This is what a contrarian Mike is. He's going like this. Yeah, but in heaven, don't you get a little fucking annoyed there? You know, so many other people. You know, it's not. I like to be warm, like in hell. You know, speaking of high end, who you got over there with you, Chris?
I have Dan from Decibel Wines.
Now, Dan and Decibel Wines, he does from the other side of the world. He comes to us, right?
New Zealand.
Now, these wines sent to us by Dan, enjoyed by some of our guests. Last time Nick DiPaolo came in, he was a little tense. We had some wine for him. Changed this whole thing, and he's actually like this. You know, there is a lot of good things about Obama, and I'm like that. Let me take the wine back away from you. You're losing your act. But do you guys like a little wine at night with these meals, or you just straight food guys?
I don't drink, but are you a wine guy?
You never drank in your life?
I'm no alcoholic. I used to drink a lot. Never wine, though.
See,
always...
I never trust an alcoholic. I never do.
Yes. Well, it's good that you don't trust them.
Don't want to say. And I could never be around them even when they're sober.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Mike, go to me. I don't want anybody to know. What age did you quit?
25, 5 years ago.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
it was
nice.
about time.
Yeah. Mike, you still out on the edge?
I still drink, yeah.
Good. Well, maybe like a little wine later. Some people they'll have a little bit of wine with their food.
And it's enough.
Yeah, without thinking, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 3 days. And I think I know where I can get blow.
Yeah, right.
I never understand people that don't have that kind of weird light that gets off.
Yeah, and I never understand people that will get into wine. You know, people like wine like art.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's like a whole thing people do. My dad's a wine salesman, so he will tell you about like... You know, the earthy finish of the... I'm like, I don't even know what this is.
But your dad is a door-to-door wine salesman.
Yes, that's true. He sells jug wine. It's prison wine. He sells it on the subway. But we're proud of him. We're proud that he's not just asking for money.
That's good. That's good. He's moving up. Yes, Chris.
I just wanted to plug. Mike Rashid and Tim Dillon are in studio. Tim's performing at the Big Hunt in Washington, D.C., February 12th and the 13th. Go to undergroundcomedydc.com for tickets. And Mike's performing at the Gas in Boston, February 12th. Go to greatscottboston.com for tickets. And their podcast, Stewed, is available now on iTunes.
Yeah, Nick DiPaolo went crazy for this wine, right?
He was raving. He was very... Yeah. And he was instantly put in better spirits.
He was in better spirits. He couldn't find a parking spot, and he was, he was ready to kill... well, not white people, but he was ready to kill some people.
Other people.
But then, when he did Louis' play the other day, I'm like, I hope he orders one of those decimal wines. He remembers it.
Get a Pinot.
He goes, I had this one, he's at the bar. I had this wine on the Bennington show. It was so good.
Cut.
What? What did I say wrong? Did you guys see this play that Louis did? It's amazing.
It's great. Is that the thing you just released?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Horace and Pete. Yeah,
Lisa's on it, and
she's great.
Like
too.
Yeah, it's like a live play that you can.
It seems like a live play. It's done in a web, but it's more in the. It has the feeling of a New York play,
right?
Yeah.
Like you could have easily taken this to a theater.
Yeah, absolutely. It has that feeling about it that it could be like a little black box kind of theater, off Broadway vibe. It moves like that kind of a play.
This place across the street here, though, does take plays and does them in a bigger place, like not even musicals.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of the few that and is it the Circle in the Round or the Circle in the Square?
Circle in the Square, yeah.
A play is always an amazing, when it works, it's an amazing thing to see.
Great, yeah.
When it doesn't work,
it's the worst.
But I guess the same is true of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
When you're at a stand-up comedy, and I don't think comics even understand that because they do it so much. I don't think they know how much it freaks out an audience when it's not working.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think both of those have to do with live performance. I think that when you are live in an audience, the difference between like, this isn't working, but I'll stick around and watch it. You'll probably leave a movie on and just be like, whatever. But you're not sitting there feeling for the performer if it's not working well.
I don't think comics realize that people are like, oh my God, your terribleness is making me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Emily, I think
I'm imagining being you.
Yeah.
And now I'm upset.
A lot of people that heckle are trying to help, you know, like if something's not, nobody really heckles plays. Like nobody's going to be like, during Death of a Salesman, start yelling, no, go this way with it, you know? What if, you know, how about this? Throwing suggestions out.
Be nice to both of your sons.
Right. You know, I'm also a playwright, you know?
Now, a lot of hecklers, they also wish that they were just there. They don't know how to get to that stage that's 15 feet. Away from them, so they yell shit out.
And you know what? It's funny. It takes absolutely nothing, to get on that stage. It would literally just be walking to the stage and taking the microphone. It would be nothing. So,
but I think the idea that they know that hecklers exist, like sometimes I think those people don't go see comedy often, and then they're thinking, oh, I know that people yell things out sometimes at comedy shows, and they think maybe I'll do that. I don't know.
Do they realize how bad they're going to get buried, though?
I don't think that they
You got
do.
to think about why you don't have control of the room, you know?
Yeah.
Like Hitler, one of the greatest public speakers. Could you imagine someone heckling him?
what Mike means to say here is that during World War II, Hitler used really good communication skills to a horrible end, of course.
Do I come to your job and kick the tools out of your mouth? But yeah, that's a good point. First of all, you never see Hitler having a bad night.
No.
Never.
No.
He doesn't even look like he has to convince anyone. He kind of seems like we're all on
Which
the
makes
same
you think, what were the
team.
Jews doing back then that, you know?
If they got
made everybody
tickets to that
so mad.
show. No.
Stewed
That's
on
not what we're
iTunes is
thinking. Here's the thing, though. Also, though, so you always have those guys lined up in front of Hitler when he's talking, right? You never even see one of them turning around and like agreeing. You know what I mean? They just keep looking like they like turning around would be the worst thing ever happened.
Well, there's that climate of fear that I think comedy, you know, there's certain comedy clubs when there's a guy on stage who's really, really good and he knows what he's doing, like you don't want to say anything because you're afraid, you know. But if somebody is up there and they kind of suck and it's not going well, you're like, yeah, well, you know, like, fuck this guy. Like, this is now my show too. Like, Seinfeld had a great point. Seinfeld's like, you got to prove that there's a reason you're the only one talking.
Now, did he say that when he was in the car with another comedian? They were going off to find coffee. You know, well, he came out and he had a problem with it. You guys don't wear suits. He thinks that if you wore suits, it would be funnier. You guys are dressed too casual.
Working for Pat Dixon.
Well, you know. Is that what he said? He wants everyone to wear suits?
Yeah. He thinks that he wears suits are funny and that the young comedian should have suits on.
If he wants to buy me a suit, I'll wear a suit.
I think he's thinking Men's Warehouse.
Yeah.
You know, lay away, do a couple gigs. I know you got some stuff coming up. Chris, that's the setup for you to plug.
Tim Dillon and Mike Racine are in studio. Tim's performing at the Big Hunt in Washington, D.C., February 12th and the 13th. You go to undergroundcomedydc.com for tickets. And for Mike, he's performing at the Gas in Boston, February 12th. Go to greatscottboston.com for tickets. And on Twitter, it's at Mike Racine and at Tim J. Dillon.
Neither of those are real comedy clubs, but that's kind of, I mean, that's how this works.
I know I haven't heard of either one. I'm going to be totally honest here.
Great Scott.
Hey, welcome to the Gas, y'all.
It's a gas.
Yeah. Yo, Daddy, you're on next. That Hitler stuff you do is so cool.
You got a couple of head cats coming.
He actually said this. It makes you wonder what the Jews did to get everybody so mad.
No, what I meant to say was...
That's the fun thing about the podcast, because like we realize like you can talk about gnocchi only so long before you see why.
You start talking about 9/11
You
conspiracy.
start defending genocide.
Yeah.
And that's what's fun.
You do it for a lot, and then you feel like, okay, we burn off.
Mike thought it would be a great idea if we did an episode that was just all about 9/11 and didn't mention food once.
At all, yeah.
That might be the direction that we head in.
Right. Are you a 9/11 conspiracy guy?
I used to be pretty big into it, but now I think not really.
Well, what changed your mind?
Just because when you look at...
he's exactly where I was on 9/11. You caught up with me 15 years ago. Yeah.
Well, just because when you look at history, there's a lot of like coincidental things that end up, starting these big events, and sometimes it's almost more comforting to think that there was some conspiracy than like this random thing happened.
Well, the conspiracy was that these people decided to hijack these planes and do it. In that case, it's a conspiracy. But there is a weird story behind it.
Sure.
And a frightening story, the fact that a bunch of guys with some sharp little fucking knives could,
sure,
do this.
Yeah.
But to think for a second that the fire commissioner was part of the fucking cover up. I don't get. I mean, right away I went, yeah, the CIA would do anything.
Right.
But the fire commissioner, no, I don't see him
talking about the crossing guard on Vesey Street. It's like, wait a minute,
right?
Is that exactly how it played out?
Especially when everything comes out. I mean, Clinton jizzed all over a fucking intern, and we know about it.
Right.
Also, I heard something about like somebody who built those buildings. Whenever he hears the conspiracy stuff, he'll be like, "Yeah, that would happen if the building was built to code." I heard they weren't built very well.
Well, being not built to code, that's a lot different than the CIA knowing it and setting out to do that. So that, but the point was that Bush could attack Iraq. Was that it?
I think a lot of the conspiracy theorists say that like the point is just the security state that we kind of now live in, the surveillance, the unending foreign wars, whatever it is.
So it's all to justify
the new national security posture that we have, that kind of Bush doctrine of like preemptive war, things like that.
Well, I mean,
the chicken parm sandwich. At,
it's very good.
DeFonte's.
Yeah, it's very good.
First of all,
garlic bread.
I go to a place called Parm.
Parm's good.
Where's that? Yeah.
Best ice cream cake in Manhattan. Best homemade ice cream cake in
Really?
New York City. Parm has the best ice
I
cream
didn't know
cake.
this.
You have to go back. They have, and listen, here's the deal with Parm. They have their ice cream cake they serve every month, and then they have a monthly ice cream cake. Every month they'll do a special ice cream cake. Could be like pina colada flavored. It could be like pumpkin and weird stuff. It's seasonal. Every month, ask about the ice cream cake right there. Best
Oh my
homemade ice
God,
cream cake
look at it.
in Manhattan. Parm. I eat a slice every day. Something that while I talk about 9/11 with the Parm bartender.
No, it's
part of my routine.
Believe me, let's go back over this.
But they're still
wasn't up to code.
I'm sure none of these buildings are up to code. That doesn't shock me at all.
But great calamari and great ice cream cake.
See, I never got past the Parm sandwich.
They're great. Yeah, but I like to do a 3-course. So
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I like to hang for a couple hours.
Where is it?
They got one on the Upper West Side. They got one in Battery Park City. They got one on Mulberry Street.
Oh, nice.
See, I've only been to the one downtown. I didn't even know they had one on the Upper West Side.
On I think Broadway or Amsterdam. I think maybe Broadway about 73rd Street, and they got one on Mulberry towards the end by Houston.
See, here's that's the one I've been to. Now, if I'm ever stuck hungry on the Upper West Side, is always the least neighborhood that I know where to find anything that's
Yeah,
good.
it's not that great. It's not that great, but there are a few things up there that you can hop into.
I've had that happen to me a couple times on the Upper West Side.
Me too.
I feel like suddenly I realize that I need to eat something and I'm very lost and very
Tim
confused.
had a great rant recently. He was like, the Upper West Side is just full of like child pornographers and
well, it's
traitors
weird
and-
because it's a lot of dogs. Yeah, it's a lot of dogs dressed up like kids and a lot of like these childless women, angry women like pushing around strollers with like Yorkies dressed in like little like onesies, and it's just a weird place. It's like odd. Seems like an odd spot.
All right, so the fact that you know child pornographers and abusers, you can spot them.
Right.
Put up the Ted Cruz with his own daughter. I mean, see if you don't find there's something really odd when Ted Cruz, by the way, not a lot of people even follow, Ted Cruz is the older brother of Tom Cruise, and it never comes up in movies. He should have said that a couple times.
Didn't even know.
My brother was a risky business. Would probably get us paying attention more. But this is Ted Cruz going to give his daughter a kiss goodbye. Watch the way she reacts.
You win here, Ted.
Are you taking off? Yeah, they're going with me. Hey, let's hop out of the way. We're taking her. Hey.
Ow!
Now that's a little girl that you would want to at least make sure that she's okay.
Yeah. But does she have issues?
I don't know. She doesn't is she on the spectrum? Do you mean?
She seems like she is the
Yeah.
spectrum.
No,
all of the spectrum.
Look,
is-
she's letting the other man carry her. A stranger could carry her.
Yeah.
Now, Chris said to me, he goes, she's 18. No wonder. I go, Chris, this is when you could always tell a fucking ped. That girl's 7.
Yeah,
You
she's
called
not
her
18.
18.
Yeah.
He thinks every girl is 18, no matter what.
I was like, it looks legal to me, Ron.
We were out.
Oh, God.
We're at a Knicks game, and the guy's going, oh, my God, this dude is fucking changing a 19-year-old woman in front of everybody. I look over, and it was 6 months old.
Public indecency, bro. That's why I wanted to yell at him.
You're indecent, dude. The fact that you don't know and the fact that your hand doesn't work.
Yeah.
Works some of the time.
I bet you're going to have to get another operation.
I really don't want that to happen.
Why? You get all those fucking pills that you love.
You like pills.
By the way, do you guys, are you guys football guys? Do you care about the Super Bowl?
Yeah, sure.
Not really. Not really, though, right?
No, I'm a Jets fan.
Huge. Not a huge.
Jets?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
They've given you nothing in your entire life, Mike.
I know. It's like having an alcoholic dad who tells you it's going to be different every year.
A lot of comedians are fans of the Jets because we're used to following something into the darkness for no reason.
Having it not work
Absolutely
out.
no reason.
Yeah. So you don't care about the Super Bowl? Who you pick to win?
I guess. I mean, it'd be nice to see the Broncos do it.
Yeah, that's the way I feel, too.
Yeah. I know nothing about sports.
But then people call you racist. for
Right.
just saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you feel guilty rooting
Yeah.
for them.
No.
No?
No, I go just.
Okay.
Well, there is something about the new kids that you're like, let them feel bitter for a little while before they get it. You know? Why should it all work out for Cam? But, Chris, you're betting Carolina, right?
I haven't made my decision yet. I'm still looking at all the information.
I just heard you today saying.
That's where your heart is.
That's where my heart is. But
you
I
don't know if that's where your head is.
I have to use my head because the lines are changing since last week.
What are they now?
Last week it was 4. Now I'm seeing 6, 6.5, and 5.5. So I want this thing to settle before I actually, that's a lot of points.
Well, you got to figure if it's a blowout, Panthers are going to win. But if it's a close game, there's a good chance,
Oh, yeah, with that defense, yeah, they're going to keep it.
Yeah, see, people don't follow fucking defense for some reason these days, Chris.
They hate it. They hate defense. I don't get their problem.
I don't get your problem.
Maybe they put
now. You're seeing children and you're like, they're hot, but it's uncomfortable.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Didn't think you'd tell everyone I said that to you.
I don't like people who find kids to be sexy. That's my thing.
You've always said that, too, that people who find kids sexy, you don't really tend to like them.
I just say I don't know whether it's right or not.
Yeah.
Right.
I
mean, there have to be a lot of people who are pedophiles and they never act on it or tell anybody about it, right? For everyone that does.
Well, see, here's the thing. You're not a pedophile until you act on it.
Is that true?
If you really?
I don't know about
How
that.
could you
want to?
Well, if you're fantasizing about sex with kids, I feel like that's kind of like a pedophile.
Doesn't that make you? Yeah.
Because if you're a gay person and you never hook up, don't you think you're still gay if you feel, you know what I mean?
Closet.
I think you actually have to do. Let's say this: we have an entire culture that fantasizes about murder. Right?
True. Good point.
All we ever do is watch murder movies, play murder fucking video games.
Right.
Are you saying we're all murderers?
I mean, that's a great. I didn't realize you'd have. That is a good argument.
Look. I do this professionally. I want to understand. This just isn't fucking a podcast with a contrarian who's going to walk around going like this. Yeah, the color red is blue. I'm serious. It is. A lot of people don't know it. Red is blue. But yeah, I think, let's say in the eyes of the law, until you do something.
You're not a.
Your way of saying it, everybody cheats on their wife.
But does everyone in this room want to have sex with children?
No.
What Mike means
don't
to
wanna-
say, not this way. Right.
Hold on, I just want to
Isn't it
clarify.
like, it's like a disease, right? Isn't wanting to do it the thing?
First of all, you looked a lot further into this than I ever expected. But no, I think, like we said, I could, if I fucking yelled out, man, I could fucking kill Chris Stanley. I mean, I don't have to worry about the cops coming up. I mean, this isn't that Tom Cruise movie, Minority Report, which, by the way, his brother's running in Iowa, and I like to see him get some respect for that. You guys vote at all, or you don't care?
Well, not in the primaries.
You're not going to vote in the primary.
Not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wait for the big game. I'm not going to vote in the primaries.
Yeah. Mike, I hope you don't mind turning it away from being a pederast for a while. Taking it to a national
I'll bring it back eventually. I'll find a way to bring it back.
Yeah. Now, so you won't vote, but do you belong to either party?
Yeah, I mean, I'm registered.
As what?
As a Republican.
Now, this is a great time for you. You have more of a choice here than you will the rest because
That's true. But the New York primary, I think, is so just not even. I mean, even the New York general election is questionable whether that even matters.
Well, no, it isn't questionable. It doesn't matter.
Right,
It's going
that's
to
what I
Democrat.
mean. But popular vote does matter, so
To
you
who?
vote in the general. I think credibility-wise, if somebody wins the popular vote and the electoral vote, people feel better about it than somebody who wins the electoral vote and loses the popular vote.
Who was the last one? That Bush?
Yeah.
And he never got over it, did he?
No.
He had a chip on his shoulder for the next fucking 8 years.
He did, he did 9/11 in order to make himself feel better. That's how bad that guy.
I like the fact that you guys have conspiracies against your own party.
Right.
It's one thing for the other side, too. By the way, in his head, he was a pedophile.
He was a pedophile.
But he didn't act on it.
Just like everyone in this room.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You all want to have sex with kids?
Yeah, Michael, it was almost felt like a safe space. So let me get this straight. So we all want to fuck kids. We can all come out with that, and it'll be okay.
Yeah. Mike also doesn't feel the need to dig himself out of it. You just lay there.
Why would I?
There it is. There it is. Go ahead and plug away, Chris.
Mike Racine and Tim Dillon are in studio. Mike and Tim's podcast, Stewed, is available now on iTunes. And Tim Dillon's performing at the Big Hunt in Washington, D.C., February 12th and the 13th. Go to undergroundcomedydc.com for tickets. And Mike's performing at the Gas in Boston, February 12th. Go to greatscottboston.com for tickets.
And who else do we have with us?
And Dan from Decibel Wines. Go to decibelwines.com. Find out where to find Decibel Wine.
Dan, good to see you, buddy. Now, these wines are from New Zealand?
Yeah, that's right. I live down in Hawke's Bay about 11 months of the year, which is east coast of the North Island of New Zealand.
And what is it about their wine that's so much better?
We got really young soils down there, like old volcanic soils, a lot of old riverbeds.
Oh, see, I would never know that. I would never know that made a difference.
And then we got a lot of sunlight hours in Hawke's Bay, so it's really good climate. And down near the ocean, so it's great.
I drink a lot of wines out of Marcus Hook, Pennsylvania, and I got to tell you the truth. I think that's an old soil. I think the factory has hurt it quite a bit.
Got to get onto these guys.
Got a kick to it, though.
Yeah, oh, there's a kick because it's treated with angel dust.
Got to get on.
Look how beautiful it is down there. That's Lord of the Rings country, right?
The Shire.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what most people know about it.
Yeah.
They're like, so you're like, Gandalf or one of
I
those?
always like to think of you as almost Australia.
No, we call that the West Island.
The West Islands, yeah. And say, is that something you'll never have another glass of wine?
Yeah.
As long as you live.
I can't. No more. I didn't really drink wine when I was having, it was always something I'd take a sip of and be like, all right, this was fine.
So it would be something that would be stronger.
I like gin martinis. I was a big gin martini guy. I grew up in my family's like in steakhouse business, so I would grow up drinking martinis at 13. My parents were like, yeah, this is okay.
Oh, it's a martini. He's fine.
Right. Yeah, it's fine.
It's just straight booze.
How did your parents feel about it when you finally got sober?
They were fine. I mean, my dad was like, I think you're okay either way. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not, but because I'm from Irish Catholic family, so everybody's like, listen, this is what we do. This is our thing.
Yeah.
But they were supportive about it,
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. See, you don't run into as many Italian alcoholics as you do Irish, right?
I don't think so.
And the English are all alcoholics.
You got to be very smart, I think, to be an alcoholic. I think a lot of Italian people are nice, but they're not intellectuals.
Mike is thinking of a comeback, and he's going to get to it. He's running a list of different comebacks that could work for him. You're a slow thinker, right, Mike? You don't like to think on your feet.
No.
Okay, great. You're a conversationalist. Mm-hmm. I can see why you'd want a podcast. Right. So which one of you guys preps this thing? Who's more likely to do the prep work.
I mean, I don't know how much prep work goes into this. I appreciate that you think that there's a ton of prep that goes into this.
It's just
by the way, the first thing we did was bring up a story that was 5 years old, and I love that you're like, so who preps who does the fact checking on the podcast? Nobody does. No one, actually. It's,
the fact that Chris is the one who caught you, because you're our fuck up.
Yeah, but I'm eagle-eyed on this one.
What are you eating over there? I see your mouth going.
I had some ice. Eating some
Sweet.
ice.
All right, good. I just wanted to make sure you didn't get real food.
No real food for me.
I always get mad if I look over and there's a producer just eating food while the show's going. This is delicious.
That's so good.
This week for you, are you and your buddies having a party, Joe? Or
Yeah. I think we're gonna have a nice Super Bowl viewing party about 2 blocks away.
Are you?
Oh, you're
so
not gonna
it's
do it
not
at
your
home?
house.
No, it won't be my house. Every year, my friend hosts a Super Bowl viewing party because he has a giant projector.
I don't know why you keep saying that.
Watching the game, bro.
That's the talk. Yeah, we're watching the game, bro.
Yeah,
All right,
and then
Chris.
later you're gonna view a movie. What the fuck are you with the view?
I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't.
Watching Oscar screeners.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
How many people show up?
Oh, probably 30. And
Do you bet on the game too?
my roommate and I, we've had bets every year. Not, properly we'll bet, but we'll bet like, hey, loser has to do a
Blow
stunt.
the other guy?
Yeah, blow the other guy, or lick
Loser
the butt.
has to do a stunt?
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Fun stuff. And then I make my dip every year.
What's your dip?
What's the dip?
It's just when he leans in.
When I dip, you dip, we dip.
No one eats it though. It's always
What's your
too
dip? What
spicy.
is it?
Velveeta cheese.
Oh, that's all
there's
right,
your
or he's not
problem.
the-
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Salsa.
Okay.
Jalapenos. Red peppers.
It's probably jarred Tostito salsa too,
Yeah.
right?
This sounds disgusting.
Yeah, this should be the stunt. You got to eat this if your team loses.
I think
This
just
is like
make those in jars.
I got a recipe. Google jalapeno pepper dip, jalapeno popper dip. That's
Like
a good
the sound
one.
of that.
Cream cheese, mayonnaise, cheddar cheese, panko, Parmesan.
All right, so when you're not a big football guy, so when everyone's watching, you're in the kitchen,
I'm
you're
in the
making
kitchen
these
with an
fun little
apron.
thing, no pants on, so his ass is out the back, looking sexy for everybody.
Yeah.
What is this thing you got? Did you find it?
This was another thing on Facebook. I don't know if this is actually it. There was like one of those tutorials on Facebook taught you really how to make a jalapeno, right? Isn't that the one?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. That's where we get a lot of everything, if you've noticed.
To me, there's nothing better than guacamole if
That's
you get
the
it
best.
fresh. That's the best thing in the world.
And good wings.
Yeah, you can make it. The wings, you use the right word. Good.
Good wings.
They gotta be good.
Gotta
There's so
be
many
good.
people who do them bad now.
There's a lot of bad wings out there.
They should have a sign that says bad wings for sale.
Yeah.
And bad wings are one of those foods that I won't continue. There are some foods that you're like, this isn't very good, but you're going to continue to eat it.
Yeah.
And bad wings are not one of those things.
No.
So I'll have one bad wing and I'm like, I'm not going back in. That was a bad wing.
Do you know, like, before the wing business took off, literally nobody ate them. A friend of mine
That's crazy.
started the Hooters chain, and they used to get wings for, 16 cents a ton. Now, maybe I'm, crazy when I say that. But now, since that business went out and everybody's into it, they got to battle like everybody else just to get a decent deal on it. But at first, years ago, people would say, you want to eat a chicken wing? It was like saying now, like if you said to somebody, you want to eat a chicken beak?
Right.
Eat the chicken beak. It's delicious.
Was Hooters the first big...
They were the chain. It started in Buffalo.
But then Hooters mass marketed it.
Yeah.
Great wings, though.
Oh,
Hooters.
you
Great
like their wings?
Great wings.
Well, here's the thing about it. I got a 50% for life off if you ever want to come with me.
That's amazing.
Second of all, I said this before. The bathroom smells exactly like the sauce. I don't know how long that stays into you.
Yeah.
But everyone just shits out the sauce almost immediately. Go into a Hooters bathroom and you'll fucking just smell the sauce as you walk into the room. They put in a new one near Madison Square Garden. Chris, did you ever get that card from BL?
Nope. She lied to me about this 50% off card. Because if I got it, I would be there right now. Well,
I do.
Just walk out. Just walk out.
Wait, I got 50% off these wings.
I'm losing money not going.
Yeah.
That works.
Chris and Mike are going to get a place wings, but just having toddlers bring your food around to you. You want
really tight diapers.
Tight diapers. It's the grossest thing ever.
They're meant for infants, but they're toddlers wearing them.
3 sizes too small, bros.
Oof. Boy.
You can sound creepier than when you say bro, too.
Who doesn't want to come to Wingies?
That is extra disgusting by calling it Wingies. Baby talk.
Just baby
Just
talk.
baby talk. When you
Tommy want wingy.
You got to order onion rings. Everything you do got to be baby talk. Yeah.
Have some chicken.
No.
It's a great theme, pederast theme restaurant.
And your waitress
just created.
Your
you know?
waitress actually comes up to you in a stroller.
Oh, yeah.
They're pushing. What do you want? Yeah.
They have like pedophile groups like NAMBLA, and you realize if that's their like goal is to live in a society where that's allowed.
Well, they're just there's like wet T-shirt, fucking wrestling in a playpen.
Come to the ball pit.
I like the blonde one. I like the bald one.
The bald one. Who doesn't have any hair?
Yeah. Can we get one more plug before we never come back here?
First of all, Mike, come on. I think that you're ballsy. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
The fact that you put the pederast stuff right out front. Not a lot of comics will
That's
do that.
you. That's who you are.
Yeah. A lot of people just try to promote that food podcast and not get into a very divisive discussion about the age-appropriate,
I think
but why?
A guy who's hanging a teething ring off his zipper and he's just coming in. I got shows coming up. Got to plug away for him.
Mike Racine, Tim Dillon are in studio. Mike and Tim's podcast, Stewed, is available now on iTunes, and Tim's performing at the Big Hunt in Washington, D.C., February 12th and the 13th. Go to undergroundcomedydc.com for tickets. And Mike's performing at the Gas in Boston, February 12th. Go to greatscottboston.com.
And the Big Hunt in D.C. is we just hunt for children. So if you come to the show, expect that.
We did an episode with Rebecca Trent from The Creek in the Cave, and we started with food, but then we ended up talking about sexual assault.
Yeah. So,
which
there
is
you go.
Was she pro or anti?
She's
anti.
She's on the fence.
See, that's the way a lot of women are now.
I know.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Very emotional creatures about that particular issue.
Well, that comes up a lot for comedians.
Huge.
There's sexual assaults. You're above what the rest of the nation is.
Is it? Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because a lot of the women keep it secret.
That's true.
So
more than like cancer doctors?
Yeah, actually,
what about
even more
dentists
than
and all those people?
Yeah, all those scumbags.
Dentists, that goes without saying. We're saying
I just
real
assume.
people.
I just assume every time I go to the dentist.
I've been
touched.
Yeah, just feel me up and check that molar. And they'll go like this. Number 8? I don't know. I'm not numbering my fucking teeth the way you are, you weirdo. Look, there's Trump. $50 for everybody who votes for him, he said. Anyone who votes for me gets 50 fucking bucks.
I like it.
I'm on that Trump train then.
Yeah.
50.
It's worth 50. I'd vote Hitler back in for 50. You know what? I want 75.
How much would your vote actually be worth for you to vote for someone you absolutely did not want?
$100? I don't know. Does it really matter?
I mean, Tim is right that
picture?
a lot of times you feel like, especially you live in a blue state like New York, it doesn't fucking
But it wouldn't
matter.
We're not in the game.
Yeah.
We're not in Ohio. We're not in Florida. Like those states are, hugely relevant in this whole thing.
It's Florida. It's
And
North
nothing
Carolina. It's
Colorado.
I just feel like voting's for nerds.
Virginia
kinda.
still like that or no? Not really.
Virginia's kind of went blue a couple times.
Okay.
What was that, Mike?
Oh, I was just saying, like, sometimes it's kind of like voting's for nerds.
Right.
These are nerds, Theo?
Yeah.
What is this, 1950s high school that you live in?
It's not class president.
Who isn't a fucking nerd these days?
It's true.
The nerds fucking own this
You're
world.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that fucking grown men are talking about Star Wars all day long.
Yeah.
Like they were babies.
There's no place for tough guys like me.
You know, that's the truth. You're the last, seriously.
He's the last tough pedophile.
Yeah. You know what?
It's
You're
really-
the last fucking hitman in Brooklyn. That's you. He is very...
Who's a cook? He's the last
Yeah.
tough cook.
Well, Clemenza was cooking. Here you go, Michael. You never know. You might have to cook for 20, 30 guys sometime. This might take a little sugar in there. That's what I do. But, you did that thing where you played a gangster in that weird...
Oh, that short that I made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very good in that. You're
Thanks.
very believable.
Thanks.
Normally, when you know the guy, you don't see anything but the guy.
You're just like, oh, what's Mike doing?
That's the way I felt when I'm watching that stupid Billions movie and I see Dan Soder. And I just yelled out, Soder's there. Everything else was broken. I'm just looking at Soder, not his character, nothing. But with you, I was just like, well, this fucking guy's trouble.
Thanks.
Well, I don't mean it that way. I can see you standing behind Mussolini, fucking whispering in his ear. Hitler was right.
I mean, yeah, you align yourself with winners, you know?
It's true. Stay with the winners. You know what? If Anthony Cumia had a baby, it might be you. You'd be his grown-up child.
Really?
Yeah. You'd be the child that you'd be standing next to him shaking your head, yes.
That's the best compliment I've ever received.
Well, you know what? That's why I'm here, to compliment. Hey, we got to wrap this up. We're 7 minutes late.
Mike Racine and Tim Dillon.
Mike Dillon is here.
Mike Racine and Tim Dillon have been in the studio. Mike and Tim's podcast, Stewed, is available now on iTunes. Tim Dillon's performing at the Big Hunt in Washington, D.C., February 12th to 13th.
Racine is a traditionalist, and he took his husband's last name.
Yes, right. As I required.
You have to.
Go to undergroundcomedydc.com for tickets to the Big Hunt. And Mike Racine's performing at the Gas in Boston, February 12th. Go to greatscottboston.com for tickets. And on Twitter, it's at Mike Racine and at Tim J. Dillon.
All right.
And Dan from Decibel Wines is also here. Go to decibelwines.com for some delicious wine.
That's it for us. Tim, it was great meeting you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me in.
Yeah.
We'll see you again real soon. Mike, thanks for coming. Your last appearance here. It was just fantastic. You knocked one out of the park with the 5-year-old story.
Thank you.
Stop the presses, everyone. A guy who would now be 23 is dead. That's it. We'll see you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!